for anything said by guests or for any videos, clips, or content shown during the live stream. This show is intended for adult audiences only. We cover real incidents, we show graphic and sometimes disturbing footage, and we don't shy away from strong language or adult conversations. There may or may not also be alcohol involved. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. Everything you hear or see on the show is for entertainment and educational purposes. It is not legal advice and it's not tactical instruction, and it shouldn't be used for such. By continuing to watch, you're telling us that you understand, you accept all of this. All right, now let's get into it. One Donut. I am your host, Sergeant Erik Lavigne. With me, as always, Banning Sweatland, and our special guest today, Otto the Watchdog. What's up, big dog?
Hey, man. How's it going?
Oh, my God, sir. If you knew the pull and the push of our people to get you on here has been tremendous. So you have a lot of fans from the Two Cops, One Donut community.
I appreciate that. Thanks. I'm glad to be here. I've been watching what you guys have going on, and I appreciate it. And I'm proud to be a part of it.
Awesome. Well, very cool. So I want to get into your story, sir, but I want people to understand who we're watching, who you are. If they don't know who you are, I want to give, I guess it's kind of an old classic. I'm trying to, oh shit. I had the video queued up and now all of a sudden it's gone. Where did it go? Hold on. Let me hit play here and make sure I got the right one. I don't. Son of a bitch. Give me 1 second. I had this queued up. We've been talking. Oh, we got to unmirror you. Hold on a second. Let me turn it around. Oh. There you go. Show it again. Shit's fucked up and stuff.
Love it.
See,
Love
he
it.
gets it. All right. Give me 1 second. I am going to pull this video back up. I had it ready to go. Here it is. Okay, now let me share the screen. This is the very first video I ever seen of your man. It should pop up here in a second. There we go. Let's biggie size this guy. We're going to go back. This is on Otto's channel.
Oh, yeah, they parked. Oh, shit. Nope, I'm leaving. Why not?
Because you got profanity on your sign.
Am I being detained right this second?
Yes, you are.
Oh, boy. Okay, what do you want to do?
Well, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on and why you're out here, because you got that profane sign. We've had multiple calls.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that.
Okay. You got your ID on?
That guy's being disorderly. Actually, I don't know if I have it on me or not, but I'm not going to give it to you.
Okay, well, you're being detained, and you're required.
Am I under arrest?
No, but you're required to identify yourself.
Am I?
Yeah.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
It's Texas Penal Code 3802.
The profane language causes disorderly conduct. So,
Is it? Are you sure about that?
Yeah, we got multiple calls.
Are you 100% sure about
Yes,
that? You know, so I'm standing on like the sidewalk. You know what I mean?
All right, I'm gonna pause it from here. It gets so much better, you guys. You gotta watch that one. It's funny because he's got like 3 signs. You've got like 3 signs there. One is back the blue. One I think says "fuck the police," and the other one says "God bless our homeless veterans." Is that correct?
Bad cops. Bad cops.
Oh, fuck. Okay, yeah. Fuck bad cop. It's great. So fun fact, and me and Banning's retired now. For those that don't know from your audience that's on here, and I am a current cop. I'm a sergeant. Obviously, Sergeant Erik Lavigne. So in Texas, which is where you're at, for that to even be a thing, the profane language and all that, for that to be illegal, it has to be used to incite something. That's not being used. Just general obscenities is not illegal.
Mm-mm.
So legality wise, he's wrong about that. You can have profane language. It's freedom of speech. It's protected, and there's case law behind it. And the other thing that your language isn't supposed to do that can get you wrapped up in some trouble is to cause a fight or an emergency. You know, like I've got a bomb or any of that stuff. So you can't say that crap. But what you had is perfectly legal and perfectly fine, and cops need to understand that. So Kudos to you, sir. I love that you're out there flexing
Appreciate it.
that First Amendment to the max.
Yeah.
Bro.
So all of my signs are rooted in a well-known First Amendment case. So, I mean, it's already well established. Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, I could make all kinds of signs. You see all kinds of signs all over the place, but the reason I chose the specific words on the sign is because they were said in the Supreme Court, and I love
Really?
that.
That is, okay. So, little credit to you. That's some genius shit right there.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, it's fantastic.
That's
Cohen
smart.
versus California is, I mean, the one everybody knows the most.
Yes. And then I think I actually had one I wanted to bring up. Oh yeah, it was Cohen versus California. That's the same
Yeah.
one. Look at that.
I mean, it's one of the staple core
Yeah.
fundamental First Amendment, and that was a recent case. So,
yep.
you know,
Okay.
it's funny because we've always had the right, but as time has gone on in this country, we've expanded and, well, really just more defined what people can say. And you know, you have to remember that at the late 1800s, people were being murdered. Well, they called it executed for, like, if you stole something that was worth more than 5 pence, which is like a pint of beer, you could be killed for that.
Wow.
So just look how far we've come in that amount of time. And people would argue that today we have, you know, we still have some things to work on, and obviously we do. But in the grand scheme of things, we got it pretty good right now.
I agree. I think things are always getting better, but when we find something that needs immediate action to be fixed, you got to jump on it. And one of those things is the First Amendment. I mean, you start going after the amendments, ours are rights, you have to be on top of it. And so that is what we have preached here on Two Cops One. I don't want to just say but all of us on Two Cops One Donut, we noticed there was a huge problem. And what do cops like to say? Well, 99% of cops are out there doing the right thing. Fuck you. No, you're not. How do I know you're not? Because there's hundreds and hundreds of videos of you not. Now, you don't have to go shoot somebody to not be doing the right thing. You're stomping on people's rights daily, because it's gone unchecked and people didn't know. And there's poor training out there. And there's some that just have ego and they don't care because you're not going to do anything about it. Why? Because it's going to cost you more money to go through the system just to be able to get that cop to say, okay, I was wrong. Now what? Slap on the wrist. Uh-oh. We lost Otto.
Uh-oh.
Nope, he's back. I don't know how.
Sorry.
Oh, you good? You good, brother? You pressing buttons, weren't you?
Yeah, I hit the keyboard and it did something automatic.
No worries.
Safety switch or something.
But yeah, to my point, that's kind of been the trend. So we like to push back and we like to highlight what auditors are out there doing. Why? Because over time, do you know what auditors have done in the law enforcement community? You have created better training. Officers are getting trained finally. They're still falling for it. They're still falling in that trap. So it's a slow moving wheel.
They are.
If you think about it, Eric,
training is not a one and done kind of thing. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, you're the guest. You talk all over Banning.
Okay, sure. Well, I mean, I'm pretty good at that anyway.
You are.
So training is not a one and done kind of thing. It's got to be continuous and repetitive to really drill these principles in. Because just for example, Rockwall, Texas,
2-pound donut.
Yeah, they're a gigantic donut. It's a big donut over there. They had training, and I know they had training because I forced them to get that training. And then here we are 5 years later, and there's a new batch of officers. You know, some of them were just being hired at the time that all that training was going in, but you look at their records, and I look at records a lot.
Yeah.
You know, it's part of my gig. And I see all kinds of combat training, you know, sexual investigations, trafficking and that sort, narcotics identifications, but very little constitutional or rights of any kind. You know, no, there's no training for that because it's not exciting, I think. But it could be done online.
Yeah,
it could be done online, and you guys get paid for it. So I don't understand why it should be easy. Also, I don't understand why there's not more of that. showing up.
There's another thing
It's
we
not
can do.
exciting, you know.
That's another thing
Everybody
we can
wants
do,
to be
Banning.
split.
So I don't know if you know this or not, Otto. We put on an ego class where I'm a cop at, which for all your audience and stuff that doesn't know, you won't hear me talk about where I work. I can't do that. I can't mix my show with where I work. I've been doing this for 5 years now in April. So this is our 5th year. But I can't mix the two. So I can't say where I work. I can't represent them. It's not hard to find out. If you Google it, you'll figure it out. But in that, where I work, we actually put on an ego class in our academy. So cops can recognize when their ego starts to take over, what their triggers are, all of these things. Is it a fix-all? Will it fix everything? No, but we're trying something. So we took that class and we put it on the show. So you just gave me an idea. That's the next thing we can do. We can put on an audit class. That would be great.
It's easy.
Yeah, it's so easy.
It's easy. And I've said, from the beginning that, eventually we're going to be put out of business.
I hope.
Well,
I hope.
I didn't think that it would take this long.
Yeah. The next thing
you said, I can't believe that people are still falling for it.
Yeah. The next thing you need to do is you need to dress like a red coat and start knocking on people's doors and telling them you need quarters.
Third Amendment audit.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with me. I've already
I think auditors will always be a thing, in my opinion, man. Because human emotions are real, and if you trigger the emotion, and everybody can't control them, so you're always gonna have some people that you get regardless.
By the way, Otto, this is Trey.
Hi, Trey.
He's never on time.
Say hello.
We're lucky when we get him on the show, but
Why
believe it or
is
not,
that, Trey? Why are you never on time?
Man, don't listen to them, man.
But believe it or not, he is a cop. I know he doesn't look like one, and he looks young enough to still be in high school.
Right.
He looks like he belongs on 21 Jump Street. So, but this is what I want to do now, Otto. There's a thing that happens quite often on here where we have people butt heads over auditors. They think that one side, they're just out for clicks. They're trying to bait so they can sue and make all this money. And then you got the other side that thinks that the cops are all bad and they'll never pass an auditor's test. That's why they're out there. It always kind of falls in the middle somewhere. We both know that, but
yeah.
Nobody ever really gets to talk to an auditor. We don't get them on here a whole lot. And when we do, sometimes we just don't get to ask all the questions. So I want to know the backstory. What got you into doing this? I heard you got a hell of a story that even got you involved with police, if you're willing to tell it. If not, that's fine. But I would love to hear your story and what got you into this.
Yeah, so I do have a story. But it was... I wish it hadn't become part of the... I wish it hadn't been, you know what I mean?
Right.
This all started over license plate lights. I was a little bit ticked off that the sheriff's department was pulling people over license plate lights. And when I like 3 of my friends got stopped, and it was all, what it's for, right? They didn't give a shit about the license plate light. They just wanted to look around,
Right. Yeah, they're fishing. We call it fishing.
Yeah, fishing. So pretextual traffic stops.
That's the legal definition.
Sometimes it'd be like the license plate light is not bright enough, or your license plate's a little too dirty, or your headlights aren't bright enough. Dumb shit.
Yeah.
And it kind of ticked me off a little bit, and I didn't really know what to do about it. So I started, stewing over that. And at the time, I was working with the church on like a food bank. We'd get like huge amounts of food and would box it up and take it. People would come to get it. And this is what they were doing. And then a couple of the ladies called one weekend and said that their car broke down. They couldn't come and get it. So I took it to them, and it got me to thinking that I wonder how many people would come, but they can't. So we just started a delivery service, and I was the guy. We just started delivering it to people. Did I just cut out?
No, you're still there.
So we just started delivering it to people. And one weekend, we got, man, it was like a 26-foot trailer loaded down with potatoes. Because I guess it was, I don't know why, but we got a ton of potatoes and we had no idea what to do with them. So I talked to the people at the church and they let me take a truckload of them to this small little town out here. It's a suburb of Quinlan. It's not, it's kind of a rough area. And I was going to give them away out there by the bag. And I just started looking into all this First Amendment stuff, and there was this guy on the internet. His name was Erik Lavigne, and he's going to come up as part of this whole dynamic of cop watchers thing. So I was trying to take them some potatoes out there, and I called the chief because I had already kind of stomped my feet a little bit, and they knew exactly who I was. So I was like, "Hey, look, I'm coming out there with some potatoes. If you know anybody that needs some, send them over." And she said that I would have to get a permit. And I was like, well, the church didn't need a permit.
To give out potatoes?
To hand out potatoes, exactly. They called it, they said I'd have to get a permit for solicitation.
You're not selling them.
So I'm not selling them. Look, so it goes under the case law would be food not bombs out of versus I can't remember the town, but food not bombs out of Florida is the one that set the case law on the matter. They give food away. The whole idea is that they were actually I think they were selling the food, but I don't know if they were actually getting it sold. They would dress like military personnel and then hold bake sales with the idea that it wouldn't have, what world would we live in if we had an abundant supply of school supplies, but the military had to hold fundraisers to buy bombs, right? So they were trying to raise money to buy bombs.
Yeah.
You see.
Okay.
I fucking loved it. I think that's hilarious. Clever. It's thought engaging. So I knew that I didn't need a permit. Because I'd been watching, other activists. Well, it was more at the time, it wasn't even individuals. These were documentaries about things that had already happened because that was the real format at the time. Like, people were uploading movies to YouTube. It wasn't some jackass sitting here with his buddies talking heads and, that didn't exist yet. So anyway, the chief told me that I was going to have to get a permit for the potatoes, and I stopped at the dollar store on the way over there and made my first sign. And I think it said, I said, well, the system isn't going to fuck itself. and the line that I was, well, so I guess I'm going to have to do it for them. So here I am, it was my first real YouTube video.
Okay.
It went about as well as you think it would. Small town in the country with my sign brightly colored, standing on the corner. I gave away the potatoes. They came out. There was four of them. It took them an hour and a half to figure out what they were going to do with me. And they decided that if I put my signs up, they would write me a ticket and leave me alone. So I gave away the rest of the potatoes, and everything was cool. But I mean, it wasn't cool. They pretty much ruined my life after that. The chief called the church and told them that I was a terrorist and doing terrorist things out there. Well, I think what happened is the video went viral, and then everybody on Earth called this tiny little town. And I had no idea the power of the internet at the time. So you can imagine, this town that has like 500 people in it, and nobody ever calls City Hall and nobody ever pays any attention to them. Now all of a sudden is thrust into, I mean, the video had millions of views. I think I got maybe, I don't know, 50 or 80,000 on my channel, but I only had 2,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
And then everybody saw it and were so outraged, or I don't know, just blown away that it could have happened. Because like everybody had the same reaction that you did. That why would you have to have a permit to give stuff away?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I get it in certain aspects but you're out in nowhere. Like if you're trying to go do that inside of a Walmart or somewhere on property, like
private property, but the Girl Scouts don't need a permit to sell stuff.
Yeah.
Does a tamale lady need a permit to sell stuff?
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's really not, and again, it's really not that big of a deal.
It's not a business or anything. See, I don't know. I don't know, and neither do you, and that's my point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my point. We have gotten so many fucking laws on the book now that I don't know what I can do from any given moment.
Right.
I mean, I could literally stop at a gas station and buy. I mean, I don't know what that shit is, but they just made it illegal here. Something that you can buy at the gas station. That's
the
like
vape stuff,
pills or smokable, whatever it is.
I know what you're talking about.
You know,
yeah, like the
fake
8 or whatever the fuck it is.
We won't allow people to smoke the real stuff, but you can have this fake stuff as long as we'll let you have it. Anyway, you can buy that stuff and cross the state line, and all of a sudden it's a felony or whatever it is. You know,
right.
So, and you don't know. You don't know.
Yeah, yeah, and we hit on that quite a bit on here. There's so many laws, and you want a cop to know all the laws. A lawyer doesn't even know all the laws, and neither does a judge. At least they have time to prep and look them up before a case, where a cop's got to kind of figure it out on the fly. And look at you and I talking like this shit we don't even know, and we're talking about it right now. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, this is why I stay very specific on what I do. I really don't like audits where you go into buildings because, man, it is a dynamic situation.
Right.
Yeah. You know, street corners are already dynamic enough, but you know, I know the rules.
Yeah.
I know the rules there.
I just had a guy reach out to me. He was in a public building, a clerk's office, a county clerk's office, but he did it on an election day. And so the rules are different.
Change the rules. Yeah.
Yeah. And so he got kind of hemmed up, and he's asking me, I goes, brother, I don't know. I don't know
either.
I don't know what the difference is.
That's why the attorneys make so much money.
Yeah, exactly. That's why cops need a high school degree to get a diploma to get in. But okay. So what year was this? I'm just curious.
Oh, that was end of 2018. It was like Thanksgiving time, Thanksgiving, Christmas. Okay. We were giving out heaters and blankets and all kinds of stuff. We were doing pretty good.
So good humanitarian move. And
yeah, I think so.
And here's my thing. If you're doing a humanitarian move, my question as a cop and Banning and Trey, like, you tell me if you guys, Trey's a cop out in Cali. So me and Banning both from Texas. So you're going to get different perspectives. Banning was a rural, out in the sticks type of cop. I'm a big city cop. So you're going to get very
if we're going to talk about rules, I mean, you told me that there'd be 2 cops and 1 donut, and I'm just assuming that I'm the donut. So I'm not sure if I'm okay with the third.
I mean, I could just eat you up, but you're not a donut, sir. Come on.
Well, you're going to have to work really hard because this guy hadn't eaten anything in months.
Oh, yeah. Banning's been fasting. Oh, shit. Too funny.
You have to push him off. Be like, hey, yo, chill out.
Good luck. Dude, I've shook his hand. You're not getting free of that hand grip, bro. Banning is a beast. He
don't put any seasoning on it.
Yeah. He doesn't got soft hands like Trey. Trey's our rookie. He's been a cop about 5 years, 6 years. Is that right, Trey?
Like 4 years.
Are you a piece of shit yet?
Yeah.
Nah, man, come on, man.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Like, come on, bro. Shots fired already.
Yeah. Nah,
we're trying to train him. We're trying to teach him, Otto.
You're still for the service and the duty.
Man, that's what I'm always about, man.
Okay. We'll check back in a couple years.
There you go.
You just hadn't found the right scheme yet, right?
Yeah.
I'm just giving you shit. You gotta understand, it's not you.
Nah, I get it, bro.
I just met a lot of pieces of shit that dress just like him.
Hey, brother. Like we told you before we got started, like if we couldn't sit here and have a good sense of humor about ourselves, or at least be self-reflective about the problems in policing, we have no business doing the job. Because if you can't take the criticism, then get out of it. Because we fuck up. We fuck up a lot. It's way more than the 99%. We had this conversation offline, but it's way more than the 99% are out there doing the right thing. It's not true. And it's not that
the difference is that, if you're a lawnmower, landscape guy, and you fuck up, you wait a couple months and the bush grows back. The stakes aren't really that high.
Right.
And, if I fuck up a little bit, it's not really that big of a deal. But if a police officer fucks up or a doctor fucks up, the consequences are a lot heavier.
Yeah.
Doctors have, years of practice and training on but also a doctor is very specific.
Right.
They don't go too far out of the way, and they don't have to know everything about the human body. All they have to know is their area.
Yeah.
And they don't even know everything about that. So we expect these young, poorly educated, I don't want to sound too hard about it, but I mean, look at my channel. I've met some,
right.
I got some depositions. If you got an hour of,
oh, I've seen, I've watched them just get,
and these are master police officers, right? They've been 4,000 hours of training.
Right.
They've been teaching other officers. It's really kind of sad.
Yeah. That's why Otto, and you tell me what you think about this. And I'm sorry for just taking over the mic, Banning and Trey. If you guys got questions too, just jump in. But you tell me if you see this same thing. I don't want a cop that has a college degree. I want a cop that's worked as a bartender. I want a cop that's sold cars. I want a cop. I want one that's older than 25. No offense, Trey. I know you're like 18. I want one. I want one that has had some life experience. You shouldn't be able to be a cop till you're at least 25. Just my opinion. Doesn't make me right. And I want somebody that's had some life experience before you go and try to solve a 20-year domestic issue that's been growing and growing for years and years and years. Because that person that can deal with people and talk to people do way better than somebody that's been through college, 2 years, 4 years, whatever it is. And some of those idiots are in those depositions that you've done. I guarantee you, look it up. Some of them probably have a college degree. Did that make them a better cop? No.
One of them did have a college degree,
See?
and it did not make him a better cop, but it did make him more eloquent in his lies.
Okay.
He knew that he was lying, and he was very good at, well, I guess I have to say allegedly, in my opinion, and all that bullshit.
Right.
But, I mean, you can watch the video.
Yeah.
You have eyes, and the Lord saw fit to bless you with two of them, so you'll be doing just fine.
We watched the Joffrey deposition on here.
Oh, that was a good one.
Oh my God! Was that Gray's video?
It's just, you're right. People do need some experiences, and I don't know what the solution is.
Yeah,
but it's such a varied job. I guess if you were hyper focused and you're specifically trained, but that's not realistic. To be,
I think the issue is people. I think a lot of agencies are focused on maintaining an image rather than hiring people with quality life experience is what I think. Because even some of the people I've tried to get hired on at my department or other ones too, I'm like, yo, these are squared away dudes, but they just don't fit the image or don't fit the bill that they're trying to make sense, I guess. But that's what I think the solution is, to stop worrying about the image.
Again, a lot of it has to do with what we're asking from you guys. So one, you at least got to be somewhat of a badass, right? If you're empty-handed lacking, and you don't have the ability to have empty-handed skills, you're kind of fucked. And at some point in your career, you're going to have the ability to take down a 6'2" dude.
Yeah.
Right. And even if you're little, that's not going to help you. That's not going to be an excuse when it comes time, right? So we want them all to be, kind of burly, also relatively intelligent. So you got to be a lawyer, a bodybuilder, a boxer, and a jiu-jitsu master. Oh, also a psychiatrist. I understand that we're asking a lot from you guys.
Yeah.
And that's really not fair.
It's
because
cool to hear you say it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, let's be realistic. The realism is that it's a job. Somebody's, and we could argue all day whether or not the job is needed or not. But I live far enough out in the sticks and have my entire life that I have no interaction with you guys on fucking ever. Right. But if you live in the city, you're seeing them 2 or 3 times a day. I'll see them. We'll pass each other a few times and we wave. I don't usually flip them off, but 90%,
Also Supreme Court case that's dealt with that. You can flick us off.
If I didn't flip them off, they would think that something was wrong with me. They'd think I'd been kidnapped at the moment.
Yeah. sir, I thought you needed something. Is that, yeah, we shared a video where some douchebag sergeant did that. He's like, well, I thought maybe that you were flagging me down. You needed something. The fuck you were.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So, and then when you get to like different kinds of auditors, some of them are real aggressive. And I don't know what they're going through. I don't know what their stories are. And everybody handles things differently, as you guys know, right? So when there's no entry, so as little entry, a barrier to entry as it is to become a police officer, and how many get in that really shouldn't have been in to begin with, and how some of them can make it, and obviously some of the leaves fall off the tree, but some of them continue making it. And we can argue all day about whether the shit rises to the top or not, because if a good police officer is, surrounded by bad police officers, and they're going to be pushed out. So if the department is trash, then this is really hard to get anybody in there. If your administration is such garbage, that you can't keep a good police officer there, then you will never have a good department. You have to cut the tree down, dig up the root, and then plant a new tree. And that's incredibly expensive, prohibitively expensive for most police departments.
Yes.
So
Otto, how would you define a good police officer? Because I feel like that changes from so many people.
I mean, not everybody has to go to jail.
That's true.
I guess some compassion would be good. But you also have to be level-headed enough to know that sometimes. See, I don't even. It's hard, because if you're coming to a domestic violence and everybody in there is fighting and there's blood everywhere, somebody's going to jail, right? But if they're just sitting there screaming and yelling at each other, what do you do?
Yep.
Right.
If somebody's drunk, you really don't have any option in that matter, do you? But honestly, you kind of should, because every person that was born in the 80s that I've ever talked to is like, oh yeah, there was at least a couple times when I came home and I was a little bit, I shouldn't have been doing that. I'm glad I didn't get caught. Okay, so everybody, and sometimes, you get caught and then you get released. But now with the invention of body cams, because the people wanted to hold them accountable, now we're also, suffering from the lack of discretion now. And what I've seen in the last 10 years is that the removal of discretion has led police officers to think that every time they go out, they have to have a solution. There has to be a beginning and an end to this. And, I have to do something to stop whatever it started at. So I really can't tell you what a good police officer is, but a good start is not ending up on YouTube.
Knowing the Constitution. That's a good start.
That's a good start.
Yeah.
But that's something that a citizen should do. I guess you'd have to be so what would you do as a good person? Because we want you to stop on the side of the road and help people with flats and save baby kids.
That's a good baseline, though. I had a sergeant tell me that, he said, with this job, a lot of the time, if you do what you think is right in your heart, a lot of the time you're on the right side of it. A lot of the time, not every time, because some stuff, like I may have to take somebody to jail based on letter of law, even though I personally don't agree with it. The law says I have to do X, Y, Z, then I have to do X, Y, Z. But you bring up discretion, and the sad thing about it is, bro, a lot of the times in situations where I've used discretion, it has turned around and got me in trouble, or it's turned around and bit me in the ass somehow, some way. Like, overwhelmingly, majority of the times when I've used discretion, it did not go my way. And as someone that's been doing it only 4 years, imagine somebody like Erik who's 10, 15, 20 years are banning. When you've been doing it, you've been using discretion for 10 years, and you're like, man, every time I've done this shit, it's screwed me over. I'm done using it. That's how you get that bitterness.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Okay, so first, Trey, I think it's to your left. Can you center yourself a little bit?
I'm
sorry, other way. Yeah. And then Otto, can you center yourself? Oh, yes, that way. Yes, beautiful.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm trying to get you guys. I have us on vertical platforms and horizontal platforms, so I want us to be centered the best I can. So how it's bitten us in the ass, I'll tell you from my personal experience. Domestics are a good one to go with because you're not 100% sure. You got your spidey senses going off telling you they've put hands on each other. I can't prove it. I can't see it. All right. How can I use discretion? All right, bro. Do you got somewhere you can go tonight? Okay, yeah, cool. I do. Where are you going to go? Okay, I'm going to go over to my mom's house. Where does she stay? I'll take you. And I've done this. Take them all the way over there, right? Now, luckily for me, personally, this didn't happen to me, but this happened at my department where they took him somewhere pretty far away. Motherfucker got back there, took a cab, got back there, beat the absolute brakes off his woman. And they're going to want to know why I didn't arrest that person that night when there was a potential for violence and that person had the capability of committing more violence than the other person. That's kind of the standard. So that has happened, and it's not one of those one-off things. It kind of happens quite a bit. So that's one way it can bite you in the butt.
Because that's the worst possible scenario, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's terrible.
I can go all day with the times where it screwed me over, bro. Like simple trespass on my head, dude. Please don't come back. I'm asking you, I'll give you a ride wherever you want to go. Wherever you want to go in my city limits, I will take you. I do that, they come back anyway. I can name it with people that are drunk. I can name it with DUIs. I can go all day, bro. And it's
How about seatbelt though?
What about it?
Seatbelt tickets,
bro. I'm not writing a seatbelt ticket.
Okay,
ever.
I'm not.
If you're not license plate lights.
Yeah, I'm not writing
even
that, dude.
So that's a good conversation, right? Because I consider myself to be a proactive cop, which is what a lot of people don't like. And I may stop somebody for something like that, like a taillight violation, something that people would consider stupid or petty or dumb. And in my head, I'm like, I used to feel like how you feel. Like, why do people stop? Why do cops stop people for that dumb stuff? Before I was a cop. And it's like, I feel the same way as though if I ask you to search your car and you say no, I can't get mad because you have that right. Correct? So then I feel the same way. Vice versa, if I stopped you for like a taillight violation, you can't be mad at me because your taillight isn't right. That's how I feel.
I can though.
I mean, you can. You can be mad. You can be
because it's so petty.
Right. Now with the youngster, it is. I'll tell you how I know people would verbalize it a little better. If I'm watching a dope house, then I know that there's been a lot of shootings, drive-bys, violence, and stuff like that happening. Then I'm waiting for some sort of traffic offense of the vehicles that have been leaving that house every 5 minutes, trying to figure out who the person is that's causing violence and all that stuff. So when you set up watching a dope house, it's been a problem in the neighborhood, stuff like that. Sure, I can understand that. But if I'm out and about, and again, it's just my style. I'm not out writing tickets or running traffic just to try to do that stuff. But then you get into the mess of precursory stops, which is exactly what Otto's talking about.
I'll tell you,
baby.
I understand why you do it, but it is so shitty, because a lot of times in my experience, from my observations, not even my experience, but my observations, a lot of innocent people get wrapped up when we start really pounding, especially just running a lot of traffic. A lot of innocent people get caught up in all this. And, I know that you're out there looking for dope, but, for example, when you have increased enforcement, like on a section of the interstate, and on every small town you pass, there's a, small town cop sitting there. We all know what they're looking for. You're trying to find that headline bust, right?
Right.
But what you're actually doing is your entire, you might only find that once in your career. Is that I guess if you're looking for it hardcore, you might have it more often, but mostly small town cops.
That's a Hail Mary type of deal. You're not going to get that all the time.
Yeah. So what they're actually doing is out there looking for anything that he can pull over anybody for, and then see if they can escalate it.
Yeah.
And from the citizen, even if you guys aren't the ones doing the escalation, from the citizen's perspective, we have no idea. Right. And I guess that's also just for the guys that are just like, man, I'm so fucking sick of dealing. I don't want to deal with them. You know, it's good because it's going to cost me something no matter what, you know. And some people are just naturally, especially it seems like it's more in the South, because I've traveled this whole country and I've had this conversation 1,000 times. So it seems like, you know, Southern men have a more staunch resistance to police officers in general, but then they'll also turn around and lick the boots every time they see one, which doesn't really make a lot of sense to me.
Right.
But then a lot of citizens that love you guys, and they get pulled over like, oh, you caught me, right? And they're like, oh, you know, they in their minds they think that you're out there keeping them safe from all the speeders and stuff.
Right.
Right. But we know I know what you're actually doing. You're looking for those. There's one and a few. And I don't know how to feel about that.
Unless it's a motorcycle. If it's a motorcycle pulling you over, they are only writing you tickets. That's all they do. They're not looking for, they don't want to find anything.
They're not going to put you in the basket and take you to jail.
Those are the ones that are out going for revenue.
They're looking for tickets.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a big difference. And when I'm talking about, you know, the pretextual style stops, like that's what's happening. And you're never going to be able to prove that ever. And
that's illegal, but that shit is like impossible. I don't see how you can prove it. I don't see how it's possible to prove it.
And that's what I'm talking about is like, this is part of Otto's issue is because you are, especially in a small town like what you're at. I'm in a big city. So in a big city, you can I can go set up on a dope house right now. I know where 3 of them are just off the top of my head in one small area. But go to Otto City and let me see if I can give you a perspective on something, Otto, that I think people need to know about cops. Let's say I wanted to be a cop my whole life, right? I want to be a cop my whole life. I want to go out there. I want to catch robbers. I want to catch murderers, rapists. I want to do all those things. I want to catch dope dealers. Cool. I'm out there and I go to the academy, right? I do, let's be generous. I do 6 months in the academy. You know, it's a good academy. It's decent. At least it's 6 months long. And now I'm out there. Now I'm riding for 3 or 4 months with a FTO. And, you know, he's teaching me the ropes. I'm out there. I'm like, all right, cool. And then all of a sudden it happens. I'm riding by myself. I'm that cop. I'm by myself. I'm Billy Badass in my own car. What do I do? Well, all right. I'm going to wait for those calls to come out. But I work in your city, Otto. How often are people calling about a rape, a murder, a shooting, a robbery? Probably not a whole lot.
1 in 5 years about something like that.
Right. So it's 1 in 5.
Mostly domestic calls.
Yeah. So now, after doing that for a few months, like, shit, I kind of got police blue balls. None of this shit's happening. Like, I wanted to come out here and help, and I'm not helping anything. How do I prove my worth? Okay, well, let me start pulling over some cars. Show them that I'm working, that I'm doing something. So now you start pulling cars over for some bullshit stuff. That you and I agree. I think it's all chintzy stuff. Like, I'm a live and let live guy. Like, if it ain't bothering nobody's calling. Like, why do I want to go out there and just start shaking the trees, you know? So I think that's part of the issue is you get cops that they wanted to go out there and do stuff and they pick the wrong city, the wrong town, the wrong place. And then they fall into this trap of like, oh, this is how I prove I'm a cop. I got to go pull cars over. And that's what they do. That's just a personal opinion. I'm not saying it's right. That's just what I think. Right. Otto, what do you got? I'm sorry, Banning, you go. You ain't talked to me.
No, I was just going to say in reference to the small town stuff, because I've worked in a medium-sized agency of about 100 sworn, and then I retired and came out here and ended up working in a smaller agency and then going to a rural sheriff's department. So I got to kind of see a lot of the lights that we have, at least here in the state of Texas. And a lot of the things that I've even witnessed is you have Officer Schmuckatelli goes to a large agency like Dallas, and for whatever reason, he can't get hired to where either the polygraph or the psych eval, there was something on there that wasn't clicking, and they said no. And then back then, the records weren't being kept. And then he'd go to, let's say, Greensville, and then Rockwall, and then no. And then he goes out to Tyler. And this is just examples And Tyler's like, you did great. You only missed 2 on that. We're gonna hire you. We think you're gonna be a great guy. Well, there's red flags, and we're not following up with that. And I think that's kind of a big problem. I know T. Cole, which is the Texas controller of this, if you will, is getting better after this new change, if you will, the past few years. They're getting better at tracking that stuff. But it's the communication going from one department to another, which Erik and I have talked on this show over and over and over. We do need to rein that in. We need to figure out how to get that fake. When I say we, and I'm talking about Austin, whoever's controlling the madness, it has got to be some more checks and balance in there to make sure that we don't get Schmuckatelli a badge and a gun and he goes out there because something's not clicking in his head right. I'm not saying he's a crazy guy, but it's just not what we would want out there representing our city as a peace officer. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it does. Hey, and look, if you're about to hire an officer, just give me a call and I'll sleuth them out.
Hell yeah.
I love that shit.
God.
And I'll tell you, it's not that hard.
He would be fun just to have in the academy to run scenarios with.
Oh yeah.
See, I've offered, but nobody's ever accepted.
Nobody's taking it? Oh my God.
Nobody's ever taken it. Well, hey, I've
we
had
get offline.
some people, I've had some leadership tell me that I should come in and give a First Amendment thing, and I always say, well, it's pretty easy. The First Amendment's pretty easy. If you see somebody praying, leave them alone.
Yeah.
I mean,
if they're trying to petition their government,
yeah,
leave them alone.
Just leave them alone. If nobody's getting hurt, you should just leave them alone.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed.
And,
shout out to Mr.
Don't
Bill.
go out of you don't have to go out of your way. And just because somebody gives you a phone call doesn't mean you have anything at all to do. Most calls are bullshit anyway.
Right.
Noise ordinances. Well, go tell your own damn neighbor to turn the shit down.
Thank you. That people don't like confrontation anymore. But I want to give a shit.
Toughen up. And a lot of it's just like with the domestic shit. I understand. I know that is terrible, but at a certain point, either move, or maybe we need to have like a library, like where you can go to the library and rent a gun for an afternoon. You know what I mean? I don't know. Can I say that?
You can say that.
Sorry, I forgot what year it was. I don't know if we can say that anymore.
Shout out to
should be one appointed to you. We should have like appointed firearms. When you turn 18, you should get your first one. Is it 12 or 18? I don't know. We can leave that up to the legislature.
Yeah, I'm with you. Shout out to Mr. Billful. He dropped $2 in the super chat and said, shit is fucked up and stuff. Thanks, Otto.
It is indeed. And the best part is that we all know it, but nobody knows what to do about it.
Yep.
Well, we know what to do about it, but we can't agree on what to do about it.
Yeah. And then we got American Cop Watcher Project in the house saying, hello, Otto. This is Super Taya. Am I saying that correctly?
Oh, Taya. What's up, Taya?
I think this is Super and she's
this
Taya.
is Super. Yeah, my bad. I needed a comma there. I'm like Ron Burgundy. I read the prompter as is.
You were talking about hiring officers. I've followed officers. I'm actually starting an entire project just on tracking officers that I've have bad reports on, because it's not that difficult to find out where the bad ones are. And I get all of my information from the same places that you do, T. Cole, and I don't get access to everything that you do. But for some reason, we can identify. I mean, obviously, it's not 100%, but we can kind of like glance over some of these things, like bouncing around from departments, not staying there you can't even stay in a department for a year. And you said, whatever the
national registry
name is, you said that you worked at a department with 100 officers. That's a fucking lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
That's a small army. I mean, villages.
That's a lot of people.
100 people. That's a lot.
What?
No, I'm poking around some of these towns that have 5 or 6 officers in them.
Well,
and
that's
the amount
I
of shit
finally
get away with only you and your 3 buddies.
Right.
Yeah.
The rumor is, and this is pretty common, that the same bag of dope can be sold 3 times before it ever gets smoked. And that leads me to believe that. And well, also, we know where these problems are. but for some reason you guys can't find it until it ends up in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? We're busting people for. I look at the jail intake logs all the time, and the number of people being arrested for under 2 ounces of marijuana is ridiculous, and we could do better. You know, nobody gives a shit about the weed anymore, and even though the federal government's dragging its ass, I wish that local law enforcement would finally just be like, hey, look, this really isn't a factor in the crime, because I know some people who may have used the weed and done some bad things, but it wasn't for that.
Right. Use the weed.
Meanwhile, we got Sprouts liquor on every fucking corner.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah.
And it causes
alcohol causes way more issues than weed does. We're 100.
Right.
We've preached that on here before. What's funny is the larger departments, they're not. They ain't wasting their time with 2 ounces or littler. They're not.
They have other things that they can get you for.
There's too much stuff going on, and that's
no one's really tripping off weed unless it's a whole lot. But big agencies aren't tripping off it.
The last time
I watched the jail arresters, and people are being arrested for it and run through it all the time, and it's an obvious moneymaker, and I can tell you why too, because they're taking them to jail off of the highway. Okay, so that means that they're taking them to jail. The bondsman gets some money. The public defender's office gets more funding because look at all these cases we have. We can't handle all these cases.
Interdiction grant
public
money.
Defender that gets assigned to it gets a freebie because this motherfucker is going to plead, isn't he?
Yep.
Right. So we get to clog up our court docket for several months while we make this, drag through court a little bit to the inevitable plea thing. The district attorney gets to say, look how many people we put in jail for drugs. And they'll just say drugs with a big red D, right? Because, marketing. And then the tow truck company gets a lot of money. If they end up staying in jail for a while, then they get to sell their car, right? Which they'll probably sell it to the scrapyard that's across the street that's actually owned by their son-in-law. Isn't that fantastic? And then they'll just either sell it to the Tote Note place or something.
This is small town stuff that happens, for
sure. This is a countywide operation, and there's 60,000 people here.
I think what Otto was saying, it does. I think in the grand scheme of things, that could be happening everywhere. Like in the grand scheme of things,
it is happening everywhere.
I'm not denying. I said it could be. Like I can't.
It is. Sure. It is.
But I'm saying with the intention on what you're saying, all those people are making money and using those stats to their advantage. Yeah, that's probably true. But I don't think, me as a cop, I'm not even thinking like that when I'm issuing a ticket or doing something or whatever I'm doing. I'm not saying the tow company's gonna make some money off of me or the city attorney's gonna make some money off of me. I'm not even processing it that deep.
No, but the guy at McDonald's who's flipping the burgers isn't thinking about me getting fat either. He doesn't give a shit as long as he's getting his paycheck, right? How many burgers I eat. If I went up there and ordered 400 burgers, he doesn't give a shit that the manager is like, hey, this is awesome. I get to report I sold a lot of burgers this week, even though we stacked it all into one bag, right?
So then where would the issue lie with you in that situation? Where does
with individual officers, for you specifically, it's because you're a foot soldier of a larger machine. And unwilling and unknowing, I should say. You didn't know that you were doing it.
Yeah.
But you're part of the machine whether you like it or not.
100%.
Right. And okay, how about this? Can we agree that the federal government is fucked up?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, at some point it trickles down onto your face.
All over your face.
Because if the federal government came into your department and said, hey guys, we need some help, there you are.
Yep.
And if the neighboring county was like, hey guys, we need some help, there's some motherfuckers out here with torches and shit, you would show up because they asked for help. Whether or not they injected a lethal dose of a tranquilizer into a young man's neck, right, as they did in Denver, and then they started shooting people from the rooftops. It was rubber bullets. Thank you for that. Thank you for at least we're not being murdered in the street. But the times have changed, and we now have all these cameras, and they're everywhere, and the perception is terrible. Although, if you guys think that you got it bad here, well, I mean, we get to flip you off and yell at you. So the protests generally don't go into riots as often. I don't think. But if you look at the like European protest, the yellow vest, you remember that?
Yeah.
Now that's a fucking protest. What would you guys do if 100 farmers drove tractors into town and then barricaded the White House with loads of horse shit? You know, or whatever.
I know exactly what they do here in the States. There'd be guns out.
You think it would get hot?
Oh, bro, it'd be a war zone.
Ooh, man, that's a scary thought.
It is. I want to give a shout out to, and I think she's probably one of your followers. I haven't seen the name on here before. The American Cop Watcher again. She dropped $10 in the chat, and she said,
"Oh yes, that's Taya Graham. She's a great reporter out of Baltimore."
Okay, now I understand why she's talking about Baltimore. She said, "There's plenty of crime in Baltimore. Someone stole our car last year." Jeez, oh Pete. That's Baltimore. Isn't that what they made? The Wire. Remember that TV show?
Yeah, and that's based on a story that I think they broke that story.
That was
about
true.
The gun trace task force. Yeah,
yeah, that's one of the cops watch. We watch cop shows, and when we watch stuff like The Wire and Southland are probably the two most accurate cop shows I've ever watched.
Right, and then you got okay, and then in Florida, just here recently, it finally came out to accepted as truth that police officers were buying. Well, I don't think they were buying the cocaine, but they were producing crack, and then distributing it around town.
What?
And then arresting the users. You didn't know this?
No, I never heard that one.
Oh man, they didn't let you in on it?
No. They did not. I didn't get a cut. Did you get one, Banning? Sons of bitches. Florida's keeping everything to themselves.
Let me get a bump, dog.
Right? Like that sounds like some Florida shit.
Didn't even cut me a line of that shit. Yeah, but they were doing that, and that was that's something that has been said as conspiracy theory for my entire life. I don't know when it started, but I always heard that it was CIA in Compton, and that the crack epidemic was a CIA operation.
I did hear that. It was the government that did that.
Yeah, that part is true.
Yeah, that put dope into the streets and stuff.
It is true.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Trey gonna let you know.
The Compton thing, yeah.
Okay, well, if that's true, and I'm just gonna assume that it is because it's such a good story, I want to believe it.
Right. Yeah.
It's a terrible story, really.
Yeah.
I mean, just think about the implications of that. So that
right.
That's pretty fucked up.
Not pretty.
So they're doing it in California and also in Florida. Where else were they doing it? And do you think that that operation is just ended since crack isn't as super popular as it used to be? Is it popular?
No, you don't run across crack nearly as it's meth. Meth is
it's meth now.
Yeah, meth's still pretty prominent.
Meth, fetty,
and heroin. Fentanyl, the heroin. Because you see people doing that damn zombie lean all the time.
Yeah, I've seen videos. What's that? Where that street is, and the fact that that's terrible.
Yeah. Also,
let's just. Why are they not taking those people to jail for possession? Is it because of the city? So if those people are allowed to zombie walk around town, but you're gonna bust my buddy because he had a roach in the ashtray, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Right. You're gonna pull him over because his license plate. Right. And then you're gonna smell the roach in his ashtray and be like, right? And then fucking ruin his afternoon at the very least. At the very least, he's gonna be shitting his pants for a couple of hours just so that you can sit out there and look for your headline. Is that what it is? I mean, I know you don't. I know you don't. I know that's not why you think. I don't. I think that you're doing it because you're like wanting to be a hero.
I'll tell
Is
you.
hero offensive? Is calling you a hero offensive?
No. You missed Steve Ladner, one of our famous followers, that he called all cops self-proclaimed heroes. So
Yeah,
that's all he would spam in the chat. So
I mean, you kind of. Well, it's not you, but it's people dressed just like you that did that.
right.
They go on TV and talk about how good you guys are all the time.
Yeah.
And then they'll shoot a lady in the side of the head 3 times and be like, "Oh, she was asking for it."
Yeah.
But and then people like me would say, "Well, don't get in front of the fucking car."
That's what we said.
You know, I mean,
that's what we said. Don't get in front of the car.
Don't get in front of the car.
Mr. Billfold put $2 in the super chat, and I'm not sure what he's talking about, but he said, Eric, cover Royce City and their shit with Otto.
Oh, Royce City?
Yes.
Oh,
that butts up on Rockwall over there.
Okay. So I'm not sure about that. So let me give a shout out to Daisy. Thank you for dropping $10 in the super chat. And then before he goes on to Royce City, MBCNTX said, why don't the so-called good cops, I think is what he's trying to say, do something about the bad cops? You scared to get blackballed or killed by your own F the police. So I'll address this personally. From what I have found is a lot of times cops are handling cops. You just don't hear about it. And it doesn't happen instantly like everybody wants. They want this instant cops they see a cop doing something and they go after him, put him in cuffs. Doesn't work like that. Not because of the cops necessarily, but that's how a case works. When a cop is on duty and they're in uniform, the rules change. I can't perceive what that cop perceives. If I go put him in cuffs, I've just could have fucked up the case. So that is one way to look at it. And people want instant justice like it would happen to a civilian. And there's different standards and rules along the line for a person in uniform. You may not like it, but that's what it is.
And in a reference to Eric stating they would ruin the case, he's not talking about like a case that the officer that could be doing something bad or illegal is on. He's talking about the totality of the case on that officer.
Yes.
A lot of the times, and you know, I've worked in internal affairs, a lot of the times these cops will make Ray Just statements after the fact that will help put nails in the coffin, if you will, and get their ass in prison. Sorry, this really pisses me off when cops get away with stuff, and each one of them, we need to build a special prison for them, and they can do whatever they want to themselves within that prison once they're convicted and locked away. But that really makes me upset when there's officers out there for however long they've been doing things illegal, and you can name it, from planting to whatever. There's a special place in hell after they pass away in that prison too. So it's anyway, I'll get off that.
Yeah, trust me.
Prison just for police officers?
I don't know. I want them in there with everybody.
That's my little, toting on the fact that
that's already a thing,
and putting them all together, somebody in there's going to try to be a top dog, and we start taking care of problems, and that's as deep as I'll go with it.
I want them in with Gen Pop, baby. I want them in with Gen Pop.
Well, no, 100% with that, but I think there's some of the audience out there to understand what I mean.
Yeah, but
so you remember Derek? Is it Derek Chauvin?
Chauvin,
yeah.
That was the Floyd case, right?
Yeah. So he was on that dude's neck for like a long time.
Yeah.
A long time.
Yeah. And
so at what point would it have been okay to
for those cops to come try to fucking step it up and move it? Yeah, they should have done something. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Like 3 minutes in, or
as soon as they saw it. There's a difference between breaking something up and following through with a case.
Yeah.
That's my point. Is just because they don't move in and do something right away, like put somebody in cuffs.
Intervening is different. That's completely different.
So they should have intervened.
Absolutely.
That's why they got in trouble.
Yeah,
well, I think just one of them did. The others?
No, I think all of them got in trouble.
Yeah.
They may not have been legal trouble for all of them, but there was some sort of consequence for every one of them people on that scene.
But they should have absolutely done something. And we discussed that on here before, that when he put his knee on there, that wasn't him to hold him down. I keep wanting, it's Floyd, right? Yeah. It wasn't because they wanted to hold him down. That was him showing the crowd that you're not going to tell me how to do my job.
So they should have intervened, and they got in trouble because they didn't.
I believe so. I don't know.
So is it just because? Well, I mean, we can look now and say, oh, well, the guy died, so obviously they should have done something before he died. You know, there's got to have been a moment where it'd be like, yo, bro, hey.
Yeah.
Right?
They shouldn't have gotten him out of the car.
Obviously, there probably was, like, was putting him on the ground. Was that okay?
It was unnecessary.
At what point, when should somebody intervene? When
I think in that situation, when they got as far as they had got, I think put him on the ground was fine. But I think there was stuff that happened to prevent him from getting to that point. But once they had went as far as they went, I think it was really no choice but to put him on the ground.
So what would have been the decent thing? Like what if you weren't just an officer, if you were just a person there? Well, I guess that's going to be kind of hard because, I mean, you can't just turn off that mentality, right?
For me, I switch people out. If I look at you and think you're emotionally compromised, if I can tell the suspect's getting under your skin, I'm gonna be like, hey, you go deal with the crowd. I got this guy.
So you think that what would like a regular decent person do? Do you think that a regular person should have intervened or said when the crowd was telling them that there was a problem?
Crowd was
but I guess
trying.
you can't listen to the crowd either.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think he looked at that crowd and the ego took
like
over.
They're out there.
Yeah, you're not going to tell me how to do my job because they were trying to tell him get off his neck. You could hear him. You could.
I can't remember how long ago it was. You just have to believe me that the case exists because I prefer to reference things. I don't know anything about it. It was here in Texas though. A man said that his hip had pins in his hip or something, and he couldn't sit in the car, so he had his feet dangling out the window, and a cop was whacking his feet with a baton for like I don't know. It was a bunch. I want to say it was over 100. But if I give a number, I'm going to be wrong. So
why was he hitting his feet to begin with?
Well,
sounds like compliance.
Yeah, he was not complying. Right, he wasn't getting it. Now the guy was saying that his hip that he had pins in his hip and he can't sit in the car or something like that.
One question: he hit his feet to get him to put his feet in the car, not to get out of the vehicle or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm already.
So he stuck his feet. He got in the car and then stuck his feet out the window.
And that's aggravated assault on the officer's part. Period. He's
so
inside the police car.
So the other officer should have intervened in that.
100%.
Absolutely, 100%.
Let me don't get it twisted.
The first one,
there's a difference between intervention. I'm all for instant intervention. There's a difference between intervention and then me putting him in cuffs. There's a difference. I would have in a heartbeat. So okay, I'll tell you the best.
So when these officers who sat there and watched are going to get away with it, right?
No, it's complicity. No. That's absolute complicity, and it needs to be up to the department's leadership when they're supposed to be watching these body cameras. If it's not brought to their attention through their shift supervisor, they need to be auditing themselves a lot more. When I got to the area where I'm at, the administration didn't even know how to pull body cameras and watch it because they didn't give a shit about it. And I'm a body camera instructor, and getting in there and trying to flatten this stuff out, I started going in there, and you can tell with the different types of programs or cameras you have, if a video's been watched and by who within the organization. So I started keeping a log, and we have to do these random audits, and you wouldn't believe what you catch. And I'm not talking about criminal stuff on what can be caught with training, what can be caught for, hey, maybe we need to get more information on a call that's family violence with web. There's so much that these audits catch and help the public and the police department in a whole. It has got to happen at every friggin' agency. But no, that's, the person that's, doesn't stop him off the first, let's whack or a hit or what do you want to call it? I've never seen this video. But they are absolutely complicit.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's a patrol lieutenant doing the hit and this is a slick sleeve officer that's standing there as backup or the primary. When that happens, you have to intervene. And if that has to be physical, then it is to stop them to do that, period. And then it needs to be reported up internal affairs. The district attorney's got to get involved with that kind of stuff, period.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, I agree. You should be, my favorite case to talk about intervening where they should have intervened was the Sonia Massey case, the boiling water.
There you go.
Like that one, you talked about cops jumping department to department. How the fuck didn't that guy get caught? He'd been at like 6 different departments. I may be exaggerating, but several departments in a year, each one, like red flag number 1. 2, they had no business even going in that house. They could have left. We watched that video for the first time on our live. Like we didn't even, It was brand new. And I'm like, all right, I would have left here. I would have left here. Okay, I would have left here. I would have left here. There's like 8 times that we would have left.
Yep.
Because the call was over with. You checked. There was nobody trying to break in. You already know that she's got some mental issues, which is not illegal. Fucking go. It's the call's over with. But they wanted to go in the house. They go in the house, and then this lady said that she's going to rebuke you in the name of Jesus, and your instant reaction was, I'll shoot you in the fucking head. And your partner didn't say, oh, it's time to go. Like, that's instantly what he should have done. Ma'am, I'm sorry. Apologize. You have a good night. Partner, you go out in the car. We got to go. Like, you're already in trouble. Like, let's go. And that didn't happen. There was no intervention. So to me, that officer should have gotten in trouble too. Because he should have never fucking been in that house. And
if the viewers go back to that video and watch it from the beginning, when they entered the property on foot and they start talking to her at the front door, it should have been done right then and there.
Yeah, you knew
it should have never gone any further. They should have got back in their friggin' police cars and left. You can also give them information. Here's how you contact for mental health services, because she was not a danger to her. What she was saying, there was not enough alarming stuff within those comments for law enforcement intervention, period. And it should have been a done deal right then and there, cleared with some call notes in there of who you spoke to. No reason to even ID or anything on that, even though if she's the one that's calling. You're gone. You're on to the next. Be available for an actual priority call.
Yep. Yeah, that's the one that really sticks out to me about where an officer should have intervened, where an officer shouldn't be hired, where the red flags were all there and you did nothing. And then kind of your point, Otto, when we were talking earlier about there's too many laws. Like, what are you doing there? We're not mental health professionals. Like, you knew this lady had a screw loose. You could tell that within the first 10 seconds there's something off with her. That's not illegal. Go home. Go patrol. Go do something else. Check the yard.
Just go back to the department and wait for the bell to ring like the fire department does. The fire department doesn't drive around
looking for
fires to put out, and then sometimes starting fires just because, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like looking for trouble, right. Handing kids lighters, you know?
That's a good analogy. That's
nobody ever
heard that a lot.
Firemen.
I heard that a lot, and when I first heard it, I was like, damn, I guess we could do that. But then I thought about it like, what about all the wanted people that are out there that just wander in the streets, bro? Some dangerous people.
Yeah,
what about those people?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. All I know is that I don't want to be wrapped up in your bullshit.
Okay,
you know what I mean.
So then,
that's all I know is that I don't want to be wrapped up in your bullshit. I don't want my kids. I don't want you talking to my kids because you're dangerous. You might not be dangerous, right?
No, I get what you're saying. You're speaking umbrella wise, like.
Yeah, because I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean there is no Google review for the douchebag standing at my window. I can't,
You might have just invented something, though.
Motherfucker. He was like, no, I can't do that. We should be able to do that. We do have the technology now that we could easily do that if we wanted to. I don't guess there's enough money in that.
I
mean, dude, we're getting AI assisted body cams. You guys drive the shiniest cars in town.
Where I'm at.
Yeah, so you better be careful. One of my cars had 500,000 miles on it.
Not where I'm at. Yeah, not where I'm at. I think if we patrolled that way though, I just think the streets would be way worse. Like, I really do think so.
Yeah. I'll push back a little bit from a different perspective, Otto. For guys like you, for everyone that's like you that thinks cops shouldn't be doing this stuff, right?
There's not a whole lot like me.
But there's hundreds and thousands of Karens coming to town hall meetings, going to this, that, and the other. I want my cops doing this. I want my cops doing that. Who wins? Who do you say is right? Who do you say is wrong? You kind of just have to get to the checklist of everybody that wants their cops to do something.
Well, we have a very short list of rules that we want you guys to follow.
Yeah, the rules. Now that we can definitely agree on that. It's the Constitution. That is the bottom line. It should fall to the Constitution.
Yeah, don't come to my house and
that's not up for discussion. That piece.
Yeah, I agree with you.
You know, leave my gun alone.
Oh, absolutely, brother.
Oh, 100%.
So the government shouldn't be able to read. They shouldn't have ears, and they shouldn't be able to read. The justice is blind, you know, that kind of thing. So if my sign's offensive, that's it's easy. It's easy. I don't understand why
it's offended. That's what we need to understand.
This is why I can't do a show. There's or a class. Like I couldn't go to teach a class on this because it's so easy.
Yeah.
I don't know what's difficult about it. You know, obviously that's probably why there's not a lot of training on it, because
you assume
concept is simple.
Yeah.
It's when you get into the nitty gritty of things that it gets convoluted, because when everybody's calling and saying things.
Yep. People weaponizing police for their own agenda.
Weaponizing police.
Yep. That's and Trey, that's kind of what Otto's was kind of alluding to earlier, of us being pawns in a bigger show that we don't fully see. That's one of the things I have learned over a 20-year career, is that we get used and abused on both sides, and it's not a lot we can do about it.
Of course. Yeah, I learned that pretty quick, that is the case. Yeah, I learned that pretty quick.
What was that, Otto? Sorry, you broke up.
Oh, but you're still doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just do it my way. I do it my way, Otto.
Hey, look, I understand. You got kids to feed.
I do it my way. There's a way. There's a way to answer the people and still do it your way.
Right. Do you have children?
Yeah, I got 2 kids.
Oh, right. Would you so when they grow up, you want them to like run a kill shelter at the animal control? You want them to put down the dogs?
No, hell no.
Because I mean, somebody's got to do that, right? Somebody's got to do it.
But that's not what I want for my kids. Hell no.
You'd rather them not do that, but somebody's got to do it. But they would be getting a paycheck.
That's true,
right? And they got good benefits because they're working for the city, right? So just because the job has to exist. Okay, how about this one? Somebody's got to do the business. Somebody's got to do the dogs, right?
Yeah.
Do you want somebody who's super fucking happy about doing it, that goes to work and loves the job?
No.
You know. So if you got some guy in there that just absolutely loves pounding the fuck out of people, maybe that's not the guy that you have on traffic.
Right.
Maybe you keep that guy in a glass case, because we need that dude. We need some.
Yeah.
I'm going to say something incredibly offensive to a certain number of people. We need some men, right? Some manly men with some big old baseball glove mitt for hands, you know. And we got to keep them in a glass case, and we got to pump them full of whatever that shit is that you guys, you know, are doing. Because it's not natural. That shit's not normal. Okay.
TRT. That's what the kids are calling
them in this box, and you break glass in case of emergency, and you send the dogs of war through the door.
Yeah.
You know, through the shadow of death or whatever the fuck it is. You know what? But that's not everybody.
Yeah.
So you can't have the door kicking dude running traffic. You're not going to take, you know, I hate to do it this way, a pit bull, because the pit bulls are, every pit bull I've ever had is a super sweet, right? But they look terrible.
Yeah.
They're capable of terrible things, even though I think the dogs are fine. So just like you guys, I think you're, you know, fine people.
Yeah. But the power we hold.
Yeah. So you got to put the right person in the right job. And I've done a lot of work in human resources, but like putting people where they need to be.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people will come in for one job and they are absolutely not suited for that job, but everybody told them that's the job they want to do because they want to help people. Okay, well, if you're wanting to help people, maybe traffic cop isn't for you.
Right.
Yeah.
And what do they do? What do they do with that pit bull when they get in trouble and they're on a pit bull unit where you want?
Then what are you going to do with it? You're going to whack it?
No, then they put them back in patrol.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they get in trouble because they're out there doing pit bull stuff, and they get to pit bull, and then they put them in patrol, or they put them in traffic.
Or you can't fire them because you got a fucking union, and everybody's talking about how the teachers' unions are well. I'm going through a little situation right now with some teachers' union stuff. I'm not going through the situation. I'm assisting in a situation with some teachers' union shit. Teacher needs to go.
Yeah,
but can't get rid of her. Well, anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the same thing with you guys in your police union. And I don't know if you follow what these police union guys are saying, but what a bunch of jackoffs. They are not helping you in your image among.
Oh, I've gotten in it. I've gotten into it with them on social media because they're putting they put out the TMPA put out something about First Amendment auditors, and I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Oh my God! Don't get me started.
Sometimes
I don't think unions are strong.
It was a satire show channel like The Onion.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. It was actually them. I thought it was The Onion.
You thought it was The Onion?
I even messaged them, said, "Dude, I fucking love what you guys are doing. Please keep it up." I believed that for a minute, and then the next day, I saw that it was actually like somebody else was covering it. And I was like, "Oh shit! I should probably let them know that that's a spoof channel." Because I didn't want my friend sitting here talking about. It's like when The Onion posted that George Bush or that Dick Cheney was talking to George Bush as God through the intercom, and it was reported as fact.
Yes.
Obviously, it never happened, but everybody kind of believed it did because we kind of had the general perspective of George Bush that he was a little bit stupid and that Dick Cheney was really the evil emperor running everything.
Yeah.
This is an old guy joke. As fuck guy joke, right? So it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah. Trey was born in 2010, so he's
shit. Fuck you.
Don't listen to what they're talking about.
But I for everybody watching this, right now, I just want to point out, this is exactly why I built this platform the way that I did. I love that Otto's pushing. I love that he's giving different perspective. I love that cops are probably sitting here watching this just stewing because they want to say something because they're pissed off because they don't like what he's saying. Listen, you're never going to grow. You're never going to be a better cop. You're never going to be able to figure out how to get better in this profession unless you listen to guys like this. If you want to live in a fucking echo chamber, go do it. You're going to be a shit cop. You're never going to get better.
I think people be losing track of just because you don't agree with somebody, y'all can have mutual conversation. I'm sure.
Yeah, you can.
I don't agree with the shit we probably do, and I don't agree with all the shit he do. We can sit here, we can chop it up about topics, and then go our separate ways. But
right.
A lot of people.
I'll have a beer with Otto right now.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you're not looking at my asshole, I don't give a shit what you're doing. I keep all my weed in my pocket so you guys don't have to look, but you still do anyway.
Right. I'm going to need to see your ID first, though.
My ID is inside my butthole. Can you?
Funny thing about my ID is
I forgot.
Oh shit. Yeah, we talk about ID crack on here too. That's another fun one. Cops being
that's a fun one. I don't get it. I understand that it's probably an artifact of training.
Oh, 100%.
That's everything you do. There's a box on the paper. And I can imagine that it makes your job harder if you don't know who you're talking to.
Yeah.
But I don't know who I'm talking to either.
Yep.
Yep.
And one of the
I don't know what your record is. So when you show up and I hand you that piece of plastic, you get to know everything about me. Well, let me know your address.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, oh, well, I don't want you to know that for my protection. Okay, well, I'm Otto the fucking Watchdog. Maybe I don't want you to know it for my protection.
Yeah.
But if every time every time I have a conversation with you guys, you put it in your little notebook, and now it's digital. And we paid for this, right? This fusion center shit.
Yep.
And a lot of people keep saying that it doesn't exist, but it
fusion
exists.
center?
I've gotten my record.
100%. I work with
Yeah.
the fusion center.
Yeah,
I'm not in the fusion center, but I work with it. I'll tell you all about it.
Well, maybe they're telling me that I'm exaggerating the capabilities, but if it's possible, and I've thought about it, I'm sure the government's already done it or at least tried it. So, every time you guys put something into your little computer, it gets sent up, right, and added to a file. And I'm pretty sure my file is about, every interaction that you've ever had, and you guys get to say anything you want to on it. And I think that the citizens need to be able to do the same thing about law enforcement, because there is the ability to write a complaint.
Yeah.
Right. But most people are not going to go through the loops, hurdles,
because it's not easy.
Loops, they're hurdles.
Yeah, it's not easy.
It's not easy. And then even if we do, we might not have done it in the proper. If we call up there and bitch, that doesn't count. You have to write it, and maybe it has to be. There's all these things, right? And every department's a little different. Any way possible to be able to throw that shit in the trash and not look at it. Okay. So we need to have some sort of open complaint process, independent of the small departments. That was probably adequate. Never. Because if you're already having a problem with your local police, then who do you talk to? And then as I go back into history, I can just imagine how much of a clusterfuck this was throughout, right? And then also that policing is kind of a modern thing that we've just created and then assumed that it's necessary. But it wasn't that long ago that there was no such thing as really police. I guess you would have police in cities, but outside of that, everybody was on their own.
Yeah.
And the exaggerations of what we call now the Wild West are phenomenally over exaggerated. There wasn't murders all the time. It was not really kind of few. And anyway, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe, and we do have a lot more people now than we did then, but we got to find some kind of balance between spending 60% of a city's income on law enforcement and providing the basic functions that the citizens actually want from law enforcement, which really kind of hurts my feelings, because the only thing they ever want is like, there's people running the red light or not stopping at the stop sign, because there's a town not too far from here that has a blinking red light, and everybody's constantly bitching about people not stopping there. I'm like, well, they're not stopping there because nobody stops there.
Yeah.
Nobody stops there. So we're all just trying to get through the light. I mean, there's a greater symptom there. It's not a law enforcement, maybe we don't need a He-Man out there with a gun running that traffic.
Yeah.
But we're paying these people a shitload of money. So
Yep.
I don't know.
It sounds like you were just saying about
it just
that
bugs
situation.
me. A lot of things bug me.
It sounds
I don't
like
have any
that
solutions.
situation is already like self-efficient. You don't need police for the traffic thing you were just talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
That's what it sounds
also,
like to me.
if I got a ticket one time ever in my life for speeding,
Mhm.
then anybody that ever passes me, I want that motherfucker to get a ticket.
That's fair though. That's fair though.
Because I got it, then they should get it too.
He's doing it right now.
Yeah, right now. And my favorite was in the beginning of cell phones. How many people called the police to report drunk drivers? And now I'm like, dude, I fucking wish the drivers would be drunk, because everybody's on their cell phone, not even looking at the road. At least the drunk guy is looking at the road.
Yeah, he's trying to stay focused, right?
He's trying.
Yeah.
At least he's trying.
Right.
So
NBC NTX said, Erik, I'm reading your license and training, 2,175 hours, 0 on rights. At least you have worked for one department. There's actually a lot more hours than that, I would assume. I I do have a dual master's in criminology and criminal justice. I'm a cop in the military, been a cop for the military for about almost 20 years as well. That's why we call it two cops, one donut, Otto. I'm a cop in the military and municipal cop. Not for the dirty way you're thinking, sir. But I'm also a TCOL instructor. I am the vice president for the National Real-Time Crime Center Association. And I have worked for one other department up in Saginaw, Michigan. I worked there just a couple years. They don't pay, so I came down here where they do pay. So,
all right, tip of the turd. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I was born and raised in Flint, Michigan. A little quick background for y'all. I did not like police growing up, and that's the reason I became a cop, because I grew up in Flint, and cops in Flint were not good. Had really bad interaction, and somebody one day challenged me and said, you can be a part of the problem or part of the solution. That's when I decided to try to be a part of the solution and make policing better from within. And I'm trying. I'm not always going to succeed. And I know it's an uphill battle with a big-ass boulder that's going to keep rolling back down the hill every time a cop fucks up, but somebody's got to try, right? That's what I do. I'm an optimistic person by nature. I can't help that. I just am. I'm usually chipper when other people are pissy, and it pisses them off more, and I laugh more. So it is what it is. So I hope that answers your question, TX. I love training. I'm a big proponent of training, and I preach it all the time. What are you giggling about, Otto?
Oh, because what class? I mean, you're the tip of the turd. I thought that was funny.
I thought it was funny.
I really did.
I laughed.
It's a good one,
bro. Listen, I tell people all the time, call me pig, call me
that little swirly thing that goes on the top like an ice cream cone.
Yeah, like when it disconnects from the butthole and just kind of floats almost right to the top of the water. Like it glistens a little bit.
Just snap closed. It gives that little a nice calm release.
Right.
Not one of those surprised releases like when you're taking a shit in a porta potty and somebody knocks on the door.
Yeah. And then that blue water hits you and you're like, oh, dang it. Look at Trey. Trey's like, I am uncomfortable with these people. What's wrong, Trey? Come on. You guys, this is grown folk talk. You need to grow up.
Nah, y'all tripping.
All right. We've been going an hour and a half, y'all. I want to open this part up. We're going to watch some videos. So I want people to be able to ask you questions, Otto. So before we get that, I want to just kind of go over some of our stuff.
People talking about Flock. Let us speak on Flock.
Oh, dude, that's
going
to be a whole other episode, dude. We'd be going on that for hours. That's a whole super subject.
So a flock cam. No, this is we don't have to be. A flock camera is just like you guys. I understand why they're there.
Yeah,
but I don't fucking want them. I don't. I really don't. I understand. I would love for the flock camera to be there when I need it. Unfortunately, I see it doing more damage than actually good, because when a police officer is pulling people over for their license plate lights and they're also innocent, or maybe they're not innocent and they had that joint in the ashtray, and then you bust them up for that shit, they're gonna hold. So maybe not all of them, but some of them.
Okay. There's going to be times that it gets abused.
Of course.
Yes.
Right? And if you poke enough people, eventually one of them is going to bite you.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now,
you poke 1 in 5 American citizens every year.
I think if you back it up with good policy, and that's got checks and balances, because I think that you should only be using those cameras when you have a criminal case. That's it.
And who's gonna hold?
Who's gonna what?
Where I'm at,
who's gonna hold the keys?
Where I'm at specifically, the flock policy is so tight. Like, and if people have got no trouble for
you're breaking up,
going outside. So I can't speak for everywhere where I'm at.
You're breaking up pretty good.
Dan, here.
I can hear you, but you're moving around like a laggy robot.
Still can't hear me?
I can hear you, but
we can only hear you when you're asking if we can hear you.
But I was just saying the flock cameras, at our department is the policy is very, very, very strict, and it's been getting more strict. Probably like every couple months, they add something else to it, and add something else to it. And if you go outside policy where I work, like you're getting in real trouble for that shit. I know people that have gotten in trouble for it. Like they are not playing with flock cameras, but they are such a big asset. I don't see them ever going away anywhere. I don't think they're gonna continue up on the usage.
It's for sure not going away, and they're going to claim to be tightening up on the usage, but it's not. It's never going to happen. It's a private company that's running a massive data collection scheme. It's a scheme. We're paying for it. You guys get to use it to make us all happy about it because most of us love everything that you guys are doing, and I understand when it's being used for the awesome things, right? To find a missing baby, for example.
We get stolen cars almost daily.
Stolen car is great.
We're getting people's cars back daily.
I mean, that's cool. And I understand, stolen cars are often used in other crimes. So I see, like, this is what I'm saying. I understand that. But it's going back to the innocent people that are getting swept up in this also. You're basically... You have an officer out there, a superhuman officer that can read every single license plate as they pass, and then instantly share that information with every other super officer everywhere. And it just reeks of invasion.
Okay. I get that side.
It feels very invasive when let me put a camera on you all the time because it's coming. It is coming. And even your doorbell cameras are no longer safe. Now those are being tied in with a flock because it's literally no shit the same company, just with a different name on it.
I think they dumped them. I think after they got the bad press, I think they dumped Flock.
Yeah, bullshit.
That's what they said.
So, okay, well, this company and that company are no longer friends, but they're still owned by the same guy. Or the same stockholders. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter because it's all bullshit anyway, right? We're all buying and selling pieces of small fractions of companies, and as long as you follow Nancy Pelosi's stock, you're going to do well. Apparently,
yeah, you're not wrong.
Right? So they're going to continue doing flock, and it's going to get worse. It's now using your Ring doorbells and. Allegedly, I don't know if they're still doing it.
This is why I didn't want to go down the flock rabbit hole because it gets big.
It does get big. I understand why it's there, but it's got to be terrifying. You have to be able to see that it's terrifying.
Yes.
Even it's just because you're not doing it, using it for the wrong thing. What could you do if you decided to use it for the wrong thing? Do you think that you could get away with it just one time?
No.
If you can't, you couldn't.
Everything's got an audit log. There's no way, and you can't doctor it.
No, I disagree.
Well,
I think you could
look it up and go do something real quick and get caught. I'll get caught after.
I agree with you on that. I do think that there's a lot of stuff you can get away with once. There's a lot of stuff you cannot get away with multiple times.
Somebody's got to look at that data.
That's the true part.
Even with it being looked at, bro, like there is still some ways you can get away with something once. Like I do agree with you on that, but multiple times, no.
That's why I say it needs to be related to a criminal case. If you're going,
you can't get away with it multiple times, but the CIA was selling crack in Compton multiple times. They got away with that.
Yeah.
Right?
There's nothing's.
I'll agree on that.
Nothing's foolproof.
Yeah, so maybe we shouldn't give you the fucking tool. If I don't want you having a hammer, maybe driving nails.
There has to be enough people. There has to be enough people that think the same way you do.
Well, I think
that's where we're stuck.
We didn't have an election and vote and say, hey, what do you guys think about installing all these cameras? Well, okay, let's.
You kind of did because your city council is the one that approves it.
Oh, yeah, well, DC, I guess you're right. I guess we can go, if you go farther down, it gets there.
Yeah.
Right. And the city council, most of You're fucking right. We're gonna go down this rabbit hole.
See, motherfucker. All right. I say we abandon ship and we go to some videos and talk about the videos because this is gonna keep going.
But we can overseas and see what they feel about flock cameras and how swamped they are with them, and if it's helping them out.
Yeah.
Let's look at other places who have done these things before and see if they think it's a good idea.
Mr. Billfold, he said,
and then we got to balance that with if they've made good decisions in the past, which I think a lot of people haven't. So.
Yep. So Mr. Billfold just threw out a $5 super chat. He's mad at
y'all are sending this shit to the wrong PayPal. It's.
He said, I borrow a truck to move a fridge. Truck owner has a warrant. Sounds like your boy did you dirty. Erik runs tag, pulls me over. On what grounds must I ID to him? Because the truck has a warrant. Yeah. That's just how that is. The truck's got a warrant.
If he's driving, then he would have to ID because, I mean, you don't have to have a reason to. Yeah. So in Texas, oh, fuck. I'm going to tell you guys something you don't know about it.
Yeah.
You don't have to have any reason at all to pull somebody over. You can just pull them over to check to see if they have a driver's license.
Yeah, but I don't know a single department's policy that allows that in Texas. Mine sure as fuck doesn't.
Well, good. You see, and it's
actually against policy.
That's where we've made improvements beyond what the law would allow.
Yes.
So just because some things are legal doesn't mean that they're good.
100%.
And we shouldn't do those anymore. Like some departments have no longer been enforcing marijuana things.
Yep.
Well,
we're one of them.
It's still illegal.
Yep.
So.
Yep. I agree with you. All right, guys. I wanna, because I know if we keep going, we're gonna go down that fucking rabbit hole. So we are gonna change up the screen here a little bit. I want Otto to see kind of something that we get going on here. All right. So we are first. I want to start off because we've been talking about some serious stuff. So I want to start with a win. You guys may have heard about that Oklahoma active shooter that attempted to happen at the high school there. I think it's called Paul's Valley.
Oh, shit. Really?
Yeah. Oh, you haven't seen this then yet, Otto.
I think I saw the video, but I didn't know it was there. That's a very, I've been there. I got some friends like hell here.
Let me, we'll play this one and shooter in Oklahoma high school. Principal sees the gun, dive bombs at the bad guy. Like most active shooters, they're pussies and don't want actual resistance. So what you don't know is he's been shot in the leg.
The principal?
Principal, yeah. He got shot in the leg in that initial
Lucky didn't get shot in the head.
Yeah. And that's pretty much the end of that one. But I want to kind of discuss I'll wait for the screen to go back. Guys, this is a testament to the way that I've been trained anyway, is that if you go and you don't hesitate and you go to the threat, you are more than likely, this is for police, I don't expect civilians to do this, you're more than likely going to stop the threat or have a massive impact on it, on the trajectory of everything. And without a doubt, this is one of the most heroic things I've ever seen. I don't know what civilian awards the president is allowed to give, whatever highest honors they can give. This guy deserves it. I do know that his high school students voted him prom king a couple days ago at their prom, and he showed up. So kudos to this guy. I'm in awe of the heroism of this guy, and police are minutes away when seconds count, and this guy was Johnny on the spot, helped save everything. So I love it.
Police were 45 minutes away when seconds counted, and most of that time was spent waiting in the hallway.
Yeah, Uvalde. Yeah, that's another one. Yeah.
That one pisses me off too.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that whole thing to be released because as soon as it is, we're gonna go off on that one. So, yeah, I'm with you. It pisses me off. And I don't know enough about it.
That's an isolated thing. I mean, that it doesn't usually unfold that way. But what kind of reputation did that? That's a stink. That's a stink that's hard to get rid of.
It is, because every time we talk about anything with a school, what's the first thing somebody brings up? Well, what about Uvalde? Well, okay, there's a lot of school things that we've stopped, but
right,
you got one black guy from a lot of school stuff, and it's gonna stick.
Whoa,
man.
we just because we have one black guy doesn't mean anything.
You motherfucker. Trey, you ain't got to take that.
Studio,
man.
clip that.
Trey, you ain't got to take that. Yeah, where are we at?
In post, when I edited this video together, you're definitely going to say that, and he's going to be offended. You're offended, right?
Yeah.
I don't get
He's offended.
I don't get offended.
That was perfect timing. Oh shit, too funny, Otto. And yeah, if you want a whole copy of this, like an easy way, I can send it to you.
Oh, I'm just teasing.
No, I mean, yeah, I share anybody that comes on the platform. I'll share the whole thing with you. You can put it on your platform too. So clip the shit out of it, brother. Especially if you make us look dumb. I'm fine with that.
Well, I mean, that's what people want. Everybody wants the train wreck, right?
Yeah.
Which, I always used to laugh because people would accuse me of wanting to be arrested. That shit sucks.
Yeah, there's nothing.
I have no interest in being arrested. I'm out here trying to tell jokes.
Yeah.
If I happen to be arrested, that's unfortunate. But I shouldn't be. And there should be no reason that what are they going to arrest me for, I would say. And they're like, oh, well, you have this language on your sign. Okay, well, is it more of a problem with the police, or is it a problem I have with the citizens? I don't know. I know that oftentimes the citizens will call the police, and then the police will show up feeling that they have to do something.
Right.
And I don't know what that's about. It's like a pit bull with a piece of meat.
Yeah.
Oh, no, not a piece of meat. With a ball. Right. You throw the ball, they have to have it.
I would argue
it's
that
also because of the whole idea.
Go ahead, Trey.
I think it's also because of the whole idea that we work for you deal, and people think that means we can do whatever you say, and it's like that's not how it works. But to add to your point, I think that's part of the reason why.
But you also work for me.
No, 100%, 100%.
Right.
Yeah. And Otto, I've given I don't want to call it classes, but I've said, listen, this is how I would handle every single call that happens with a First Amendment audit style thing where people they're upset because you're out there filming and got a sign. I tell them, I never make contact with that person. I go out, I'll observe it myself. If I don't see anything, I'll go make contact with the complainant. Hey, what was he doing? Did he break a law? What was the law you saw him break? Or what do you think he broke? Okay, that's not against the law. Let me educate you because I don't want them to call back. So I'm going to educate him. Like, look, he's on a public place. This is a First Amendment protected thing he's doing. Freedom of speech, freedom of this. It doesn't qualify as disorderly conduct. Doesn't qualify as this, that, and the other. And here's why. You have any questions? No questions? Okay. He's going to be able to continue to do what he's doing. I'm not even going to go talk to him. I learned from San Joaquin Valley Transparency that he wants us to at least come tell him that everything's cool just because he wants to know that the cops were called on him. And I said, oh, okay, I guess we can start doing that. But for me personally, if I don't have a law being broken and there's nothing I can do, if I got to take an opportunity to educate the caller to stop repeat calls and then bounce, I'm going to bounce and never even talk to you, brother. That's how it should be done.
No,
when you're talking about auditors.
Sorry. Trey, what'd you got?
No, I said if I get a call like that, I'll hit up the auditor secondly, like, hey, bro, just so you know, people calling about you. And then I'll just leave. Like, if they want to chop it up, we'll chop it up. But if they just want to argue and stuff, I'm like, all right, have a nice day. But I always tell them that people are calling about them.
Yeah, that's the rookie way. I get it.
I mean, I understand you got to be careful because we're a spectrum. You know what you're going to get, whether it's going to be, somebody fun and cordial or not want to see you there at all, or because I mean it's everybody and it's everywhere in between too. So I guess it just you have to make your own decision, and there's no right answer because if they're wanting to get a confrontational video, because those are the ones that get the most headlines.
Yeah. And you can't. We just did one last week. And I think that's when people brought your name up of a little 5-foot deputy sheriff that an auditor's on the street, and she started out perfect. It was like, okay, you're good. Just so you know, people were calling and she's trying to get back in her car, and the guy's a pro. I mean, he gets her ego instantly when he asked for her name and badge number, even though she was about to leave. If she would have left, she would have been fine. But the ego took over when he asked for the name and badge number, and
a little bit of role reversal.
Yep, she started.
Let me see your ID.
Yeah, started name drop. Oh man, it got bad, and it was 9 minutes of torture. We're just sitting here going, shaking our heads like, "What the fuck, lady? You should have left, and now you're done." And she was done. She got fired. So,
great. So she's starting a new department in any day now.
So I'm glad you brought that up, Otto, because we've talked about this, and this is something maybe a guy like you you're a smart dude, like. Not just.
I mean, I got a long list of people who would disagree with you, but go on.
No, just talking with you in this, I know you know your shit, but the way you form your questions and your perspective and the way you throw some analogies, like you're sharper than the average bear. And I mean that as a compliment. And I think I would love to see a guy like you try to get this movement going, because I think it's going to take a civilian, and I also think it's going to take the power of the police. We need a national registry. We need a national registry for anybody that ever applies to be a cop, is a cop, whatever that is. Their jacket needs to be on there, and it needs to be something that anytime a cop tries to get hired, that's the first thing the backgrounds people can go to. What's this guy's record? What's his jacket look like? And it's got to be wide the fuck open. And that way we can stop these freaking travelers or whatever, wanderers, whatever you want to call them, when they get fired. I'm sorry, in public law enforcement, you getting fired is a big deal. Now, is there political moves? Do people get fired because, I mean, Banning will tell you, because I think he's seen a lot of this more where he's at, but there's guys that get, railroaded at their department because there's some political move and they get fired through politics.
Are you saying that even police would abuse a system that is supposed to have safeguards to prevent abuse?
Yeah, I would. Absolutely.
So you have a flock camera inside your department?
Ooh. Yeah. So
it's just another system that's not supposed to be abused. We all said we weren't going to.
Right.
But we are. Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe they don't do it on purpose, but we already have a system that tracks police officers. Here in Texas, it's called the TCOL, Texas Commission on Law Enforcement.
Right.
They have a website that will list your current active license number, and then all the departments that you work for, as well as your training. It's my go-to. Let's do a quick search on this officer. If you want to get more information, you have to go to the individual departments and request that. And of course, because I'm just a regular citizen, a lot of that sometimes it's hard to get, and so it takes a while and costs a lot of money sometimes. So I would have absolutely back having more information on the TCOL website. But actually, what seems to be going on is the opposite direction. So now there's a push from your buddies at the Brotherhood, which is a fucked up name for anything in these days. I think we should change the name, the Fraternal Brotherhood or whatever.
Fraternal Order of Police?
Yeah.
FOP? Yeah.
No, I think there was a
Brotherhood? There's the Brotherhood for the Fallen, but that's nothing to do with a union or anything.
Oh, was it the Fallen?
Yeah, that's just for officers that die in duty.
Maybe I got the two things together.
Yeah, I think you're thinking of the Fraternal Order of Police. That's a union. That's a big
that
union.
one then.
Yeah.
I think I got them switched up, and I apologize for that.
Oh, you're fine. I know you didn't mean anything bad by it, brother.
No, dead cops are fine with me. Oh,
that's
shit.
Wrong. That's wrong.
Well, they've never violated my rights.
Too dark.
No,
too dark.
Too far? Okay.
Too dark.
Okay. I was just feeling out the room. I'll lighten it up. Tough crowd.
Too dark.
What, have we got a bunch of cops in the room or something?
I know, right? Trey got all serious.
I'm sorry.
I'm messing with you.
Anyway, so we have the ability to look it up. It's just a lot of times I've noticed that the whoever's taking the applications doesn't actually look it up. they just they don't check these references for factual basis. We've actually just in the last couple of months had a police officer who was a piece of shit in the last department, beat up a blind guy, made a cripple piss himself, and then I think he was forced out of the one department and then quickly got a job at another, and they hired him twice, two separate departments, two bad cops that I've had a pretty substantial history tracking their bad behavior. Quit one department and immediately got hired in another, and neither one of those departments did any investigation into their background, at least not any meaningful investigation into their background before hiring them. And then some jackass, this guy, as through my team, was able to find that they lied on their application. So they were, actually one of them still got hired because he passed a polygraph. And if I can't use a polygraph in court, then I don't know what you guys are still using it for the part of your hiring.
I 100% agree. I think that shit is so stupid. Yeah.
It's so stupid because if I don't believe that I'm telling a lie, so you're just weeding out the people with a conscience.
The George Costanza. It's not a lie. Yeah. You believe it.
It's not a lie if you believe it. And that thing detests not whether or not you're telling the truth. It tests body metrics on whether or not you're stressed or whatever, your current stress level or something like that. And it's not even accurate at that. So I don't know why they did that, but they hired. So one police officer got fired, but one is still on the job, and he's going to continue being on the job. And nepotism abound, but there's nothing I can do about it. Not that I even really want to, because I'm not here to make any changes. I'm here to bring out that changes need to be made. I don't want to get into the weeds of what we should do about things.
Yeah.
Because of what I like doing is pointing out the fact that something needs to be done, and then leaving it to people smarter than I.
Yes.
To come up with the solutions.
Because
I'm too involved in it. You're too involved in it, and we should just stay out of it.
I love that.
Well, I mean, we're not going to, because it involves us, and we're going to have opinions, and we're going to vote our conscience.
Yep.
But somebody needs to do something, and I don't know what the answer is.
Yeah. I do want to clarify, because Kingslayer paid $5 to make me clarify. He said that cop from last week did not get fired. I sent you the video of the sheriff saying she's back on the street. Okay.
Oh, good.
And
good, fantastic.
Yeah. So,
well, that's fine for me, because that means eventually we're going to have more content.
We can even tell you where that department was at.
Yeah. So if you don't want auditors to exist, stop giving us content.
Yeah. Well, and it's
because, like I said, the angry confrontations are what everybody wants to see. They want to see the train wreck. They want to see somebody else get arrested. Okay. So if you want us to stop existing, then just stop giving us the negative content. Be nice.
Yeah.
Be decent human beings. Okay. And that would be fine with me. I would rather do something different. I would rather, I don't know, but I don't even know what I would do at this point, because I've been at it for 10 years and I didn't think that this was ever going to be a thing. I thought that I was going to tell a few jokes and make fun of my local department, and that this would be like a 6-month thing. And I didn't even know if I expected to get anything out of it. I just wanted to point out that they were being pricks,
Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, they were sending code enforcement to my house and measuring my grass and pulling my permits for my chicken coop. And the tax assessor came out and upped my taxes. And, that was my chicken coop was apparently worth $10,000. And I was like, bro, if you'll buy it,
right,
I'll load it up and bring you another one. I'll make another one next week if you think it's worth that much. Anyway. So you start getting peppered, and a lot of people don't say anything because they already kind of know that's a possibility. They don't know what they're going to do, but that's always what it is. Most people don't want to complain about the police because they don't want continued more increased harassment. So we need a way for the people to complain and it actually go somewhere. We need citizen oversight.
Yes, I was just about to say,
and
like a citizen oversight committee.
yeah, hey, look, your departments, that Dallas, Fort Worth, big Austin, fucking great. You guys can probably hire somebody to watch random videos, random body cams.
But small
But
departments,
if YouTube, yeah, they can't do that.
no.
But if YouTube is any indication, I guarantee you that the citizens will volunteer their time, to review
Yeah.
these. But then you get into some things about, well, if this is an ongoing case or something, I can't have people in the town seeing the body cam and some, unredacted stuff.
Right.
So what do you do then? I guess you can run it through FLOT camera system.
I mean, you can always, like, again, I'm at a bigger city and we do have an oversight committee and all those things exist. And it's great. I really love where I'm at because I see all this cool stuff, but then I see small department, like where you're at, like where you're facing the shit that you're facing. I'm just like, how the fuck does this happen?
Lucky if we have body cams at some of these things.
Yeah, there's still, I think they said like 92, 95, somewhere in there % of departments have, oh, you turned blurry.
Oh, I gotta.
There you go.
Yeah.
They have a, oh shit, he went right the fuck off. There it is. But they have, fuck, I lost my train of thought. Oh, they have body cams, 92 to like 96%. But there's still, you tell me there's 5% out there that still don't have body cams?
Right.
That was more than I thought. That there's a couple agencies out here. CHP didn't have body cams. They're barely starting to get them. There's a lot of agencies that still don't have them. Most do though.
CHP does not.
crazy.
I think does the sheriff's department?
Which one?
Oh, I can't remember.
There was a big one in Florida.
San Diego didn't.
Nah, San Diego Sheriff definitely has body cam.
One of those big California agencies was getting a lot of criticism for not having body cams. I know that Highway Patrol does it, which is really suspicious.
They're starting to get them now, but for a while.
Wait, if you don't have a body cam, that's suspicious.
Oh, 100%.
But it doesn't do any good because when body cams first came out, you guys were real fucking chatty. Y'all would talk about everything. It was unfiltered. You're communicating something. So somebody would see something and be like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
but
it was a culture shock for policing.
Yeah. Well, because we're on your shoulder watching it. Okay. Yeah. Now you watch these body cams and people are so subdued. Everybody's talking quiet. They get in little huddles. They're always worried about this thing on their chest that's recording it. Not always, but it's certainly more. And I understand that because I'm the same way, right? Anytime there's a camera around them, am I in angle? Am I in the frame? Stuff like that.
Right.
So it does change some things. But it doesn't do any good if nobody watches it. Just like the security cameras at Walmart. If nobody's watching it, then how is it going to find out if anybody stole anything? So somebody's got to be reviewing these body cams, and we're dawning into the age where the technology is available, the internet is available, that we can start reviewing just random body cams and see what's going on, because a lot of times that's where the stuff is.
I want to.
It shouldn't be that damn difficult. I request body cams, and sometimes it'll be $100 trying to get that. That sucks.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
So,
I want to. Somebody had brought up about how, it's either bad cops make great content or good cops make boring content, and then there's stuff that kind of falls in between. And that's the one I want to show you right here, Otto, because I want to get your perspective on this. As soon as it decides to pop up, there we go. So you can see the title here. Dad calls cops on 7-year-old autistic son. You would think that that's a bullshit title, but that's for real. So let's see.
Man calls the cops on his 7-year-old son.
7-year-old autistic son. He goes off on his tantrums. And
7 years old. You can't handle a 7-year-old?
Yeah, well, he tends to calm down. He smashes his room. And
this is a completely inappropriate call for police. He's 7 years old.
We have an entire town here to protect. You're calling 3 police officers here.
I called 3. There's no 1.
You called 911 for a 7-year-old.
Yeah, 2 other times.
Okay.
Nobody's been upset like you are.
Well, we're approaching where we charge you with false signs in the police. This is completely inappropriate. He's 7 years old. This is not what the police are for. Okay. If you are incapable of handling a 7-year-old, we're going to get CYS involved because you clearly need parent classes. You understand?
No,
That's the state that we're
special
at.
circumstances.
He's 7.
He's
How old are you?
He has
How
epilepsy.
old are you?
I'm 50.
Okay, and you're 50 years old. You can't handle a 7-year-old kid who's your kid? Do you not see how this is completely wrong?
By force, I can.
Well, then that's what you should do. He's 7 years old. Think about this at all. This is completely inappropriate. If you at 50 can't figure that out, I don't know what to tell you. Right. But I'm telling you right now, you do this again, we're going to charge you.
Right. You guys can believe that.
Completely inappropriate.
Thanks for your help.
All right. So I'll get your perspective here in a second. I don't like setting people out into the blind. So I'll tell you how I looked at it is that one, I do agree with the cops. This is not where they should be at. This is not our type of, I mean, look, we have hard times sometimes just figuring out regular criminal calls, and you want us to deal with a very special case of an autistic child that's having a tantrum. Call your parents, call your neighbor, call your friends, call your family, ask ChatGPT before you call us. Like, why? Like, all we're going to do is, one, teach your kid that you can't trust your dad because he's going to call the cops on you. We are not equipped to deal with stuff like that. And this is part of my problem when I was kind of trying to school you, young Thundercat Trey, about cops being used as pawns and being used in positions because it plays on for the good cops out there, our desire to want to help. That's what this is playing on. I want to help, but I need to be able to step back and realize I am not qualified to help in this position. Now, I'll leave it at that. Otto, you tell me what you think from here, buddy.
Okay, so I caught a couple of things out of it. One, it wasn't the first time. I mean, I don't think it was the first time that those officers had been out there.
Yeah, they did kind of have that vibe, didn't they?
Yeah, they definitely did. And the father was like, "Look at these fucking cops," and he uploaded that. So obviously, he's not really okay there either.
Right.
That guy's got something wrong. This is what it used to be called the nanny state, where we want the state to be our nanny and take care of us all the time. Every little thing needs to be, there's a government solution for you. So, I mean, he just got sissified. That's what it is. Good job on the cops, right? Because there's nothing they can do,
right,
at all. But shame on that guy for calling them, and also for the previous. How old was that guy? 50?
50, and the kid's 7.
Oh my God! So sorry for the previous 50 years that failed you.
Yeah,
because this guy's obviously had nothing difficult ever happen in his entire life. Maybe we need to like have something terrible happen to us so that we can remember that it wasn't that long ago that we were worried about where we were going to get some food and hoping there wasn't sawdust in the bread.
Right.
Okay. And now we're, literally not eating because we're too fat. You know what I mean? Right.
That's a shot fired at Banning.
Only like super rich people got gout.
Yeah. Right. Oh man, those that didn't catch that joke, Banning's been on a 40-day fast over there.
I'm proud of you too. That's rough.
For real? You really haven't eaten in 40 days? No way.
No, it's I just ended a fast last week. It was 8 days of just water and electrolytes, and then I did a couple weeks prior to that with 3 days.
8 is tough. I've done 4, but 8 is tough.
Yeah,
it's a. You know how you can tell if somebody's on a diet?
They let you know about it. Yeah. Same thing about yoga people.
I'm very public about it. Yeah.
Or vegans, or what's the other one that's worse than vegan?
I don't think anything's worse than vegan.
No, there's one where they can't. What is it?
I said gluten free, but that probably ain't what you're talking about.
Gluten-free,
no, it's something with nothing to do with animals. Vegan.
Oh no, those guys
that
that are allergic
and then
nuts
vegan.
are pretty annoying.
Exactly.
I was like,
Damn it, build up.
this? Like, shut up and eat it.
Yeah, build up your immunity like everybody else.
Just have shellfish. Fucking.
Oh, somebody's asking, was Otto a jarhead? He ribs like one.
Oh no, I wasn't. My family is all military. Everybody in my family was military, and when it came my time, they told me not to. And I'm not sure if that was a good thing or a bad thing, because I would have been fucking good at it.
Yeah.
I'm a little chunky.
Well,
I'm a little
now
on the chunky side. That would have been rough for me.
they get you
But
squared away.
man, hey, I'm pretty slick with a rifle. Yeah, I had a pistol in my hand since I don't even know if I'm allowed to tell you how old I was when I started shooting. Loved it. My family was all military. I still have a lot of family that's law enforcement. I say it all the time. It makes Thanksgiving really awkward. It used to make it awkward, but now we all get along.
I was gonna say, if they understand what you're doing, like if they just
they did not.
Jeez. I could get it
about
at first.
6 years.
Yeah, I get it at first. Like, trust me, there's a lot of cops that don't like what we do. They hate it. I had a former NYPD guy get on me the other day because he just doesn't agree with my perspective, and that's cool. Whatever. Keep scrolling. You don't have to stop on my stuff and comment. You can keep moving. But I'm gonna still do what I do, and I believe in what I do. I got a text message from one of our mods, and he said, "Can you ask Otto what he thinks of Two Cops One Donut?" That's from Tim.
Like right now?
Yeah, what you think about it now that you've been on for a while.
I mean, I've seen your show before. This isn't the first time I've ever heard you talk. I appreciate what you guys got going on. I understand where you're coming from. I like the fact that you're wanting some different perspectives. You're not, I've never seen you jump on, try to like bash.
No.
I don't want to say us either, because I don't even know what the fucking auditor is. Okay.
Yeah. How do you define it?
I don't know.
I just lump everybody together. You're talking about the First Amendment. You're an auditor.
I guess it mostly depends with the camera. I guess if you're filming it, that makes you the auditor, but that's fucking dumb. It's a dumb term. I don't.
Yeah.
But it's what it is. So I guess First Amendment auditing is what it is, and I don't know who coined that term, but I wish you had consulted somebody first, somebody in marketing maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe a team effort.
Yeah, well, we could have come up with something better. I prefer fuck copsing.
Yeah.
I prefer the term fuck copsing, but I understand that that's probably
that's a new one.
You've never been fuck copsing?
I haven't. I have never even heard that term until just now.
We'll have to go one night. It's kind of like bar crawling, but it's where you go to different police departments and just wish them a happy fuck the cops day and flip them off and drive off real quick. Quick but safely,
right?
Not too fast.
Yeah.
Make sure your seatbelt's on and your fucking blinker works.
Yeah. What's that one charge that they have in certain states? They don't have it here, but something about excessive acceleration or something like that.
Yeah, demonstration.
Well, it used to be called exhibition of acceleration here until 2005.
Yeah,
sorry, I've got stupid knowledge in my head.
No, that's the thing over here.
Yeah, I figured California to have that. You guys got all the dumb rules.
They got a handful of them. California is one of the places where, when I have to go into California to work, I'm extra cautious. One, because I know that you guys actually have a higher crime rate than we do. I mean, here in Texas, there's some areas that are pretty rough, but you've got a lot of population crammed in a very small town, very small land area for the population, and that changes the dynamic. And anytime you get a lot of people, crazy shit happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. That's why I don't want nothing to do with it. I don't go there. All yours, Trey. You have the whole state, baby. I'm just gonna stay over here in Texas. I like Texas.
It's funny though, because when I started doing this is a very fringe thing. There really wasn't a whole lot of people doing it, at least not that I was aware of.
Right.
And now it's quite popular. There's a whole new generation that has done this and started getting involved in it. But this is literally nothing new. The only thing that's changed with this is the platform in which we're, sending it out. We're able to send it out individually instead of through publications like the Time or Time magazine or the local newspaper. Because remember all those photos out of the 60s were taken by professional, I guess mostly professional reporters and stuff like that. And now there's all kinds of reporters.
Everybody can be a reporter now. It's the
Dead
Oprah
with no
Winfrey
fear
of,
of entry.
self-proclaimed reporters.
Right. So you were, man, I've been wanting to touch on it. You were talking about how there's a difference between like my style and then you get the confrontational people.
Yeah.
God,
I can't stand them. They drive me insane.
Yeah, you don't know what the catalyst was that has brought somebody into this.
Right.
And the thing that I hear a lot is, you're just a criminal. You hate police because you're a criminal. And there are people who have criminal records that are doing this.
Mm-hmm.
I do not. But I also know a lot of people who have criminal records that really didn't deserve it.
Yeah.
And even if somebody's found guilty, I've seen enough now at this point where I have a really hard time accepting some of these charges that I'm seeing brought against people. Yeah. Sometimes they stick. So you don't know what's brought them to doing this. And some people are just angry anyway. Some people have more animosity towards you. So
yeah.
And I guess everybody has their own different style, but the same thing goes with everything else. There's some people, let's talk about football. Some people are good tackles, linemen. Some people are just defensive backs, and then you get kickers.
Yeah,
we let you play.
Right. Yeah,
we don't really. We're glad you're there, but.
We've shared some very new auditors before that were out just, you could tell that they haven't really done it and they're testing the waters and they're interesting to watch. It's fun to watch their progression. There was a very young kid. I don't know that he was even 18 yet. He went into a post office and just absolutely killed it. I mean, you would have thought he'd been doing it for years. And then the officer that came in, he killed it. He did awesome. The only people that really screwed it up were the employees.
Yep.
It was a great audit to watch. And we talked about that. I was like, oh my God, this kid's amazing. How long has he been doing this? And our audience here was like, this is his first one. I was like, holy shit. Your boy knew what he came prepared. And it's fun to watch. I like that stuff. So
yeah, preparation goes a long way.
Yeah. That's why I'm glad you kind of brought this up, because it's one of the major questions or accusations that come on here when people get on us. Why are you showing these criminals? What's the term? Frauditor. Why are you showing all these frauditors?
Yeah. And there's plenty of that. I kind of understand the term frauditor a little bit better than the auditor, but some people think that if you get arrested, that's a good thing. Because you're going, this is hilarious. Okay. Try to maintain yourself. Okay. They think that just because you get arrested, that there's a lawsuit you get a false arrest, without actually committing a crime, that there's a lawsuit on the end of it.
Yes. And thank you.
They think that a lawsuit has a paycheck involved in it. And let me tell you, as somebody who has filed multiple lawsuits, both with attorneys and pro se, you are not going to make a living off of getting arrested and suing anybody. Maybe if you were like hit by a big truck and your buddies with Jim Adler or something shit like that.
Texas Hammer.
Okay. But you're not gonna survive off of lawsuits. One, because they're unpredictable, and there is no business model on earth where the level of unpredictability would be acceptable.
Yeah.
Two, the amount of financial investment that you're going to have to put into this is something that no business model would allow.
Yeah.
Okay. If I'm going to have to put at least 50 to 60% of my potential earnings, okay, into getting the earnings, then then whatever's left over, it really isn't worth it. You're not making any money. Everybody else is making money. Okay. Also, you do not get money unless you have suffered damages. Well, I mean, there's exceptions, but we're talking broadly.
It has to be
You
very
have to get
extreme.
fucked first. Yeah.
Yes, we've talked about it, and this is something I've learned from auditors, is because I used to recklessly just come out. Well, they just got they just won a bunch of money there. Oh, we just watched that video. He's going to get a bunch of money, and I'm wrong. I was wrong. I really thought that it was that easy.
It's not that easy.
It's not that easy,
and it takes a special individual. I've seen a ton of people. Okay, how about this one? Just try to find an attorney
that will take it.
Just try to find an attorney. I'll tell you, there's only a handful of them that are willing to go after cities, municipalities, counties.
Yeah.
Very few willing to go after state.
Yep. And unless you get a department that is gets it, and they see the video and they're like, no, we're going to get fucked if we go to court on this. Like, just pay a settlement. Like, if you can get them to do a settlement, that's great.
Yeah. Settlements are always less.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
They're always less. Okay. And then this goes back, the attorney's still going to get a cut.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So if we're talking coming at this from businessmen's perspective, this is a fucking terrible way to make money. Oh, also, there's a high likelihood that all your equipment is going to be destroyed. Also, there's a high likelihood that all your equipment is going to be locked into a fucking cabinet for at least 2 years. Okay. So there's no business. Okay. You're not making any money. You're going to have to buy a new cell phone. You're going to have to change. Well, you might be able to get your phone number back. Right. But if you have any equipment, it's not, I can't tell you how we could continue into details if you want, but I'll beat the dead horse if you want me to, but there's not money in the lawsuits.
Right.
So,
but it's good for them to hear that from you, because everybody that watches your videos
is going, I'm winning a lot of money.
They're going to think you're out there just
lawsuits,
killing the game with lawsuits. Yeah. And that's not true.
And I am killing the game, but I'm killing the game with results. Okay. I've gotten police officers fired. I've gotten judges arrested. I've got 2 judges, 2 mayors, 2 police officers in the last 6 months.
You got a judge arrested?
I got 2 judges arrested.
That's insane.
I got an ordinance thrown out. Well, I'm taking credit for shit that other people did. I broke the story on judges being arrested. I got video that nobody else had, including the prosecutors on the case. Okay, so I'm doing. I reopened the video that I was able to get. Reopened the judicial investigation and broadened the scope of what he's being investigated for, because he was drunk with guns in the car and nobody ever said anything about it. And the prosecutor quickly gave him a deferred prosecution for 12 months, even though this is his second DUI, and he got a deferred prosecution on the other one. Right. And also, while he was being prosecuted for the DUI, he allegedly made a phone call threatening another person and was sued for it and kicked off the bench for that. So,
wow.
And was facing criminal prosecution for that.
Yeah.
So,
Holy
I mean,
shit.
it just goes on and on. And then, I've reported a bunch of stories of people who've been arrested, which is uncommon in this genre. Actually doing investigative reporting is uncommon. Most of the time it's, I'm just coming in here to file an open records request. And that's fine. Okay, that's fine because somebody needs to test that also. The problem is that sometimes the camera is so unsettling to people that they act differently than they normally would, as we discussed before.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get an accurate. It should be, but it should be a hidden camera, something a little bit more candid. But again, there's no money in this. So, you can make money at it. I'm not saying you can't, but it's not through the lawsuits. You're going to make money through the ad revenue, through donations.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure that the money is worth it, because I'm net negative. It costs me more to run this show than the show actually makes.
I'm with you.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
so
5 years is still is red the bad? That's in the red.
the number of hours that's put into, and this
Editing,
is
all
from
that
I've spoken to a lot of auditors. Okay. The amount of time that we put in to doing the YouTube show, whatever that is, and it's different for everybody, is more than what we're making.
Yeah.
We're making like less than $1 an hour if you really added it up.
Right.
And then we're having to have another job so that we can afford the equipment and to pay the phone bill and the gas and everything, associated with it. So it's net negative. You're not going to make money at it. You're doing this because you love it. We do not make $100,000 to smell weed in every vehicle that we pull over. Well, actually, technically, I don't make $100,000 anyway. But if I did make $100,000, I would for 100% sure smell weed in every single vehicle.
Gotcha.
I can do that for you. If you guys are hiring, let me know. Do you have a physical requirement?
Yes, we do.
Oh, fuck.
Listen, brother, Otto, if I can give you.
Hey, but I'm damn near 300 pounds. I mean,
let me give you some encouragement. I think we need you around as long as we can have you. I think we need to get you fit and in shape. I think you could be a beast. Just got to get you going down the right fitness path.
I just changed my pronouns to they, them actually last week. Not because I'm trans or anything, because I think I've eaten myself into plural at this point.
We got to get this guy doing some stand-up. I love it.
I'm fasting, too. I haven't eaten in almost fucking 45 minutes. It's 2.5 hours? I got to go.
I was wondering why his head kept dipping out of the camera. I was wondering what he was doing.
Yeah. Fucking, I got some lemon pound cake in this bitch somewhere.
Now we know.
And that's fucking retarded, too.
Right.
What?
You can't tell me that it's 1%. Okay, because
what are we talking about?
Afro Man.
Afro Man, yeah.
Every one of those officers was retarded.
Oh my God!
And then they took their complaint to an attorney who was also retarded. So it can't be 1% because everybody in the room thought it was amazing.
I can't believe the courts took it.
I'm sorry. Did I say that? Did I use the hard R?
For everybody watching, has to understand that what he's referring to.
My ginger over there. Oh, I mean ginger. My ginger. I'm sorry. I'm trying to change. I was born in the 80s.
Yeah, well, I was going to say you're referring to
an old man.
80s terminology, which has, the negative of that word today is not what we were grown up with. It's not saying, it doesn't mention mental anything like that. It just means, probably because I was called it the most in my family all while growing up. So,
and probably in the Marine Corps.
A little bit. I just eat another crayon and go home.
Right. Look, you got to be retarded a little bit. Yeah. It's not. It shouldn't be a negative thing. I understand that. That's a harsh word. I apologize for coming on your show and.
You're fine, brother. You're fine. I do want to say
that's telling jokes on the side of the road, often to the faces of the people who the jokes are about, whether or not they like it or not, because sometimes you guys deserve it. And I can't tell on this right now, just like you guys say, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you're capable of. So I'm just going to assume that you're a piece of shit, just like the rest of them that I met. And it's up to you to prove me wrong.
Fair enough.
And if you don't like being treated like that, then stop treating us like that.
Yeah.
But it's part of my shtick. So
that's a fair perspective.
For a while until I come up with another one.
Yeah.
But I'll give you one of these,
I think that's fair. As long as, to me, it's always about people being open-minded to changing that opinion. And I think that's what makes it different for me. And that's kind of what you're saying. So I'm saying I think that's a fair opinion.
Right.
Yeah, agree. Go ahead, Banning. What'd you have?
I was just going to, I've got one question for you. And first, I'm going to start with a statement. First of all, your truthfulness coming out and talking about, and I hate to use the terminology auditor because I don't think that's a great name for what y'all are doing out there. Thank you for being honest in reference to the YouTube and going out and in reference to the monetary of what it does or does not come in. A lot of people need to hear that because I get jokes on LinkedIn. I'm not a big Facebook guy or Instagram guy. I do LinkedIn and I get jokes after these shows for the next week till our next show. I'll get a lot of jokes saying, "Hey, Banning, man, these guys must be killing it out there. I'm going to retire as a cop and I'm going to go out and be an auditor and rake in all this money." And it's a joke going back and forth. Oh, cool. Let me know how it goes. It's your fucking life. You do what you want to go do what you want to do, dude. If, wearing the badge is that. But the second thing is I've only watched one video in your deal when Erik told me you're coming on, and I'm not a huge YouTube guy. I try to go in there and, people send me videos. But what I'm getting at is I watched one video and you just brought it up, and that's in reference to that county sheriff being hooked up for DWI. And I believe he was like 2 miles from his house, and then the officers were treating him like some type of king on the side of the highway and were just real lenient. I think they took his truck back to his house, correct me if I'm wrong, and did all this stuff that they're not going to typically do for a normal citizen. I have had to arrest cops, and when I did, their shit gets impounded. They go to jail. And you get treated like everybody else. But the question that I have for you is, and I will know better once I look at your channel, do you when I mean good videos, when an officer actually does what he's supposed to do with the law enforcement official that's in the video and does everything, doesn't bother you, maybe waves, "Hey man, have a nice day," walk by, and obviously it's not going to generate content, but I think a person like you is still put that out there for people to see, even though it's not going to get a lot of clicks and stuff. And that's my question is, right. Do you put all the videos out?
I don't exclude that content from my channel. I appreciate that content. So I primarily do live streams. My live streams are where it's at. And that is raw, live on the street. If it happens, it happens. Okay. When I cut videos, I like to go from the beginning to the end. And sometimes I'll cut stuff out. Like if there's a bunch of dead zone or something like that, I'll cut that out. But it's up to you guys to show me what you look like.
Yep.
Yeah, agreed.
And also,
absolutely,
there's plenty of videos out there of you guys saving babies and rescuing kittens. That's not what my channel's about.
Right.
Sure.
There's plenty of other places which you can get that. I'm critical, and I'm telling jokes, and I try to make it funny.
But what I like about you,
I don't exclude good videos, but I don't search it out either.
But
I'm still going to clown you.
Right. And hey, if we're going to go to the academy and go out and serve people, you have to be clowned. If you can't handle being clowned, you're in the wrong friggin' profession, period. But you look like a guy and sound like a guy for the short amount of time that I've met you today, that you look at both sides of the coin, and I appreciate you for that.
I do look at both sides of the coin, and nobody is immune.
I love it. Everybody gets it. We're the same way. I do want to give a shout out to.
I feel like punching a lot of the auditors are. I don't really like punching them because they're my buddies.
What about HBO Matt?
I like HBO Matt. Yeah. So like I said, everybody's got their own style, and even if you don't like them, it's still kind of fun because the idea, I guess the way I think of this audit thing. Okay, well, how are you as a law enforcement officer going to handle a crazy motherfucker who just hates you? Okay, is he doing anything illegal? No. Okay, so leave him alone, no matter how many times he throws the effort at you.
Yeah.
Right? Because if it's, I don't know. I mean, that's up to you guys, I guess. It's if it's all about creating content and clicks and views, then that's one way to do it.
Yeah,
sure.
And if it sucks, then it will die on the vine.
Yeah. And I don't care if they listen, it's a poor argument that they do it for the clicks and the views. I don't care because it's doing something that helps. It helps improve law enforcement. Whether you want to look at it as doing that or not, I promise you it helps improve law enforcement because when you make them look stupid and they make themselves look stupid, something's going to get to that department. There's going to be people out there that bitch and complain and be like, why are you letting our cops be this dumb? So It's just like
It's not-
body
it
cameras.
shouldn't be that
When
difficult.
body cameras first came out, it started from a lie. It was the whole Michael Brown thing. And the dude admitted to lying about what he saw and what happened. And people were like, well, see, we told you. I'm like, you're focusing on the wrong part. The beauty of this whole tragedy, which I always like to see something good happen from a tragedy, and that was body cameras. I cannot function if I walk out of the sector without my body camera. This is how good the culture has gotten where I'm at. I feel panic, like you just passed a cop speeding. I feel panic. That panic hits me. My butthole puckers. I'm like, oh shit, where's my camera? I run right back in. I don't take a call. I don't do shit because I don't have my camera on me. That's a good thing. And that's how you should look at that. Not that dude lied about what the cop did and all the shit that happened. Yeah, that was bad. I'm sorry all that went down, but it's no different than looking at an auditor and saying, well, he's an ass, the asshole ones. Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't agree with the way this guy's doing it, but he is causing change. Whether you want to admit it or not, he's causing change. Good change.
Yep.
Just a different
way.
That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. And I tell people all the time, like, there's auditors I can't stand. There's one in New York.
There's auditors I can't stand.
He just runs his mouth the whole time and he just talks shit to everybody. I mean, he doesn't just audit cops. He audits anybody that walks down the sidewalk. And I see his stuff all the time, which drives me even more nuts because I'm like, how you keep getting my algorithms?
Well,
on
that line, right now there's a popular, well, I don't know if it's still popular, but banks and dispensaries are becoming a thing.
Yep.
And I mean, that's not really typical. That doesn't fit the bill of a First Amendment auditor, testing the government. That's obviously not the same. I guess technically it could be if you're expecting the people inside to call the cops on you. But I mean, is that all we're allowed to investigate is the response of law enforcement and the government? Because I see those as looking at what people, testing the citizens to see what their reaction is.
Yeah.
Which is also interesting.
It is.
And I don't know who's going to find it interesting, but somebody might find it interesting. And if it's not good, then it will die on the vine. Okay.
Yeah.
So if it's not illegal, we'd already have a thing. If nobody's being harmed by it, then maybe we should just leave it alone. Even if it is illegal, maybe there's no harm being done. Right.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at things. I see HBO, Matt, just came through the chat.
Yes.
This is another example of the difference between auditors, right? There's First Amendment and Second Amendment. We were talking about Third Amendment auditors, which would be fun, like dressing as a law enforcement officer and then going.
I gave you an idea, didn't I?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I talked about it before, but there's no way to really test it because, it'd be trying to ask somebody to go live in their house. So that'd be testing the citizens, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Right. And every single citizen would immediately be like, no, you're not coming in here because that one's obvious.
Right.
But it wasn't obvious at the time that it was written, was it?
Right.
If it was obvious, then they wouldn't have had to write it down.
Shit, we still can't get the Second Amendment right.
I'm telling you, dude, and we're just pecking away at it.
I know.
So on that note, HBO Matt would be a good one for you guys because he does
Second Amendment
gun content.
Oh, I love
he's
that.
A Second Amendment guy.
Beautiful. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a Second Amendment question about because I try to work with him on mostly signage. We're covering signage right now because the new open carry thing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of jacked up signage. A lot of places where they're saying that you can't have one and you can, and I'm just kind of like, man, how many times do you guys want me standing out in the parking lot and fiddling with my gun?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For real, because it's 2 or 3 times a day if I was to do it. So I always say, okay, well, at that point, as a person who carries every single day, if every building I go into, I have to take off my gun and put it in the car, well, then every car has a potential of having a gun in it.
Stolen gun, yep.
Yeah, so now we got stolen guns going everywhere, and you guys are going to be bitching about that next.
Yep, because I bitch about it all the time. Like, why did you leave your gun in your vehicle? Most of the time, it's overnight, and that's where they're really getting themselves into trouble. But
yeah, and I have an issue with but I know a lot of people who keep guns in their car too.
Yeah.
Like a little backup,
Yeah.
because most people don't need to carry it all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
Right.
get it.
But
And
I don't want to have to take it off to go pay my water bill. I'm not doing nothing.
right.
You should be worried about the guy who's pulling it out and shooting people, not innocent people.
Hey, you're preaching to the choir on here. I'm one of the biggest gun advocates that are out here. We're in Texas, baby.
Hey, well,
one of the
and I'm
freest
gonna say
states
the
for
same
guns.
thing with the weed.
What
And
about
drugs, and for all and all drugs for that matter, right? Because even if they're high on crack, let me redo my camera again. Oh, there it goes. Even if they're high on crack,
there you
even
go.
if they're high on crack,
Yeah.
you
What
know,
about it?
Are they doing anything else illegal?
Right. I think
just leave them alone.
this is just my personal opinion. Dope should just be an enhancement to the criminal behavior you're doing, not that the dope in itself should be inherently illegal.
Well, anytime something that somebody has, just mere possession of anything.
Yeah.
And I'm saying this very broadly, specifically, because the mere possession of something is so easy to fake, isn't it? Like, you could just drop that in somebody else's vehicle and then just like, hey, police, this guy's got something terrible in his vehicle, and then they're gone. And there's no fighting it because it's like you have it.
It's been proven to happen before. So you can't argue it. As a cop, cop, I can't argue what you just said because it's happened. It's been proven to happen. So
I mean, maybe not from you guys.
No.
Definitely from you guys also. Okay. Definitely from you guys also. But anybody.
Yeah.
Anywhere. So anytime that there's just the mere possession of whatever it is, I feel like I should be opposed to it. And of course there's circumstances where, that doesn't necessarily apply, but
yeah,
it's just very scary.
Yeah.
I don't want to throwing something in my window.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I obviously we're not the ones that made the rule. We're not the ones that made that law. Looks like there's some good movement going. I think Joe Rogan just got something with psychedelics passed executive order.
Did. That was just yesterday or day before, or was it Friday?
Literally on TV signing with the president to get psychedelics approved. I was like, what the fuck is happening that Joe Rogan is now in the White House?
But you still can't smoke or whatever it is.
Yeah, you can't have certain strands of weed. Crazy.
Certain strands of weed. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, certain strands.
Yeah, but you can go across the border to Oklahoma. And as long as you have the government permission, you're good.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
I got glaucoma and a backache.
And then the argument's going to be,
my back hurts from carrying this government on my back my whole life. That's what it is.
Oh shit. I do want to show a video that Matt and I kind of collaborated on. He was supposed to be here tonight, but I think him and his wife and him, I think that's right. He and his wife. They had their anniversary yesterday, so I think they're still in the afterglow of that. So he really wanted
electrolytes, buddy.
Yeah, he really wanted to be on here with you. But we did do a little collab video. So I'm gonna share that. I want to make sure we get this one in here before we end. We don't usually go over 3 hours, so here we go.
Cop punches a handcuffed female.
Hey, yo, then you just hit her. Then you just fucking hit her. It's on camera. Don't worry about it, bro. It's on camera, bro. Bro, it's on camera, bro.
So I'm going to pause it real quick. I'm going to let me and Matt talk on this video so you guys can kind of hear what our little breakdown was. But I just want to point out right away that was a husband that was in cuffs watching his wife get hit. So, but I'm going to play this all the way through. Me and Matt made this video together just in case he couldn't be on today. So that's kind of part of it. Hey, I'm Sergeant Erik Lavigne from Two Cops, One Donut, and I got with me
Detective Matt Thornton.
Buddy, we just watched this video together. Let's break it down. All right, I'll tell you from a use of force side, what I see here is I see they've got a handcuffed female. They're escorting her out. She drops her body weight. It does look like she reaches over to try to bite one of the officers, but then they stand her back up. What do you see from there?
I see at that point, it was when she drops the weight, they had a chance right there to create space if they wanted to. And then she stands back up, and then you see what you see, which is repugnant.
Yeah, I agree. I think that are there times that you can punch somebody that's handcuffed? Yes. But I always argue you'll know it when you see it, if it's justified. And it's not justified here, in my opinion.
No, this seemed like the timing of it, it was after the fact. So this seemed like a punishment. He was upset. He was mad at her. So I'm going to punish you. I'm going to crack you.
Yeah. And then the other side that we're not even considering is the other man that's handcuffed. That's her husband. He had to watch that.
I could imagine the escalation that causes from both sides.
If there's an opportunity to create space, this is how I would have handled it. How can we do things better? Create space, let her fall on the ground. If that's what she's trying to do, or she's trying to bite you. But once you got her stood back up and you started going, it's over.
And you always got to look at what a judge or a jury might see. This is a female. You're bigger than. She's cuffed.
You got to be able to control your suspect. And I don't agree with what was done here. And I'm curious to see what the outcome's going to be.
Me too. It should be interesting.
And as we like to say on Two Cops, One Donut, to our officers that do bad, you need to do better.
Yes, do better, period.
All right. So, okay, stop sharing. Good. Yeah, saw that one. I think it came out of Pittsburgh, if we're not mistaken on what the comment section said on that video when we got it. But Banning's mad. I can see him already. He's pissed off at that one. I could see your reaction. Yeah. So again, one of the things we like to do on here, Otto, we'll show good stuff, but we'll show bad stuff and we'll call it out. You know that. You've seen a couple of what we've done now. I try to keep it pretty balanced, and we haven't had one to really judge yet other than your own video. This was bad. I think, and I just put another video out. When they're handcuffed, they're a totally different class of people. Their safety and security rely on you. And if you, as two grown men, can't handle a female that's already cuffed and you're taking her in, you got to resort to just a haymaker. Like, we're not doing the job right. We need to improve from that. Again, I will always leave the caveat there. Maybe there was something we didn't see, a different angle that we didn't catch. But I really find that hard to believe you're going to be able to show me something that justified what we just saw. What do you got, Banning?
We don't have the time for what my opinion is. And I think Mr. Billfield already made a comment up there that Banning's going to invite him to the bar that I want to create in the future for.
I don't think Otto knows about that bar.
No, it's a bar in my mind that I'd like to create for piece of shit cops like that. Invite them in, give them a free drink, and let's put the video on the deal as the magnetic locks to the doors go down. And let's talk about what you did to the public, and let's figure it out right here and right now. So I'm not going to go in and get this friggin' video pulled from streaming devices, but sometimes the justice system is broken. It needs to be fixed in other
Jesus
measures.
Christ, look at those fingers.
I know, right?
Holy shit. If you pull me over, please do not look for my weed.
I'm retired. I am retired.
You blow out your O-ring just with this pinky.
A little bit of vigilante violence is okay. It just depends on who it is, right?
He's not a cop anymore. He can say this stuff.
When
vigilante.
somebody's out there doing this to my citizens,
should rip a bus and go on tour.
You too?
I'll drive.
Yeah, you two could for sure.
We'll fucking go to every one of these bad cops and let them have it, buddy. I'm with you. I'm with you. We'll stop there though. We should continue on. Should we do some judges too, or should we not even talk about them?
Not yet, but
we shouldn't talk about them. No.
Yeah. We got to address
judges,
this.
You're amazing, especially the ones who I'm in your court. I love you so much.
You're safer in North Korea at this point with American police going around unchecked. Like, come on, brother. Like, of all the places you could have named, like, you had to be so extreme that nobody could even take that serious. You think you're policed here? My guy, come on. I get it. Hyperboles. I love it. But yeah, we are creeping up. We're going to have about 10 minutes left. I definitely want people to be able to ask you questions, Otto, if they got any questions. But I also, Otto, I want you to be able to say and talk about whatever it is that is on your mind as well, sir. If you got anything you want to get out to your people, anything like that. If you guys got questions, start throwing them in the comments. We're going to start throwing them up there.
I mean, I talk to these guys all the time. I appreciate everybody. You know, I'm glad that everybody that we have the ability to have this conversation. This is one of the benefits of technology, that we can have open conversation with people from across the country if we wanted to. I appreciate that we have anonymous commenting where people can say things even if they're a little bit far out there. I'm glad that we can say things that are a little bit far out there because some of these countries that are on this earth right now don't have that ability.
Yep.
And I'm glad that I have a reasonable expectation that I'm not going to have a black bag put over my head and thrown into a camp yet, right now, currently, today.
Right.
Okay, but it wasn't that long ago where some of my, where some certain individuals in this country would have been rounded up and put into camps. Okay, so these things, that's North Korea. Seems like it's far out there, but it's not. We're not that different. It could easily become here too, if we let it happen.
Yes,
and,
I agree with that.
People are actively trying to get us closer and closer there all the time. And if you want to see what works, let's look to other countries and see what they've got going on, and see if there's any correlation between us and them, and how we can, see what mistakes they made before we fall into them. And I would like to remind you that this country was founded because those countries were fucking it up.
Yeah.
So maybe let's not be more like the rest of the world and be the shining light on the hill that this country was set out to be, and a place where we don't execute people for stealing, a beer's worth of whatever the merchandise is. We've moved away from these ideas that perhaps extreme violence isn't the answer for everything. And when we can collectively look and see that something is wrong, we should be able to acknowledge that, have some justice in the matter, and then hopefully move on with without doing that some more. We're just seeing like some death throes of some old culture that's going out, and we're older now. We're all becoming old men. Some of us a little more than others. I'm not going to name any names, okay, but some of us are a little,
Yeah.
That means that there's some young men that are going to be following behind us, and we need and now we are in a position where we fucking know better. Okay. So let's reach back and grab these men by the hand and guide them into a better path, so that they don't fall into the same pit and have to do the same shit that we did or that our grandparents had to deal with. Because my grandparents were alive during that whole Japanese internment. Okay, and that's just one of the blights that on this country that happened at about that same time. Because that whole 100-year period was just fucked up.
Yeah.
Okay, and you go into the 70s. Anyway, we can go into that rabbit hole, but we're doing better, and it's because we've spent a lifetime learning and discussing and communicating with other people with differing views, and we found somewhat of a median, and the pendulum will always swing one way and it'll always swing the other, and it's only as long as everybody is equally upset, then we'll be okay. Nobody should be completely happy, because if you're completely happy, then you're fucking me.
Yeah.
Okay, and nobody wants to be on the receiving end.
Yeah.
Always. Okay.
Yeah, some people do.
Yeah, some people. And
I don't judge.
Thing.
I don't. It's whatever you're into, bro.
Well, you've been in law enforcement a long time. Are you a corrections officer?
We'll talk offline.
No. We don't want to go there. I was gonna go into some.
I was like, wait a second.
I was about to set you up for like probably one of the worst ones. I don't want to do that to you. You're a nice guy.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Thanks for looking out for me, brother.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Oh shit. Looking at the comments, you got the Bearded Tim trying to get people to reach out to our Discord channel. Please do. We do have a channel there. A lot of times I've been trying to get our auditors and stuff like that, if they want to ever jump on and just do a session and a little Q&A, we would love to have you guys over there. It's always fun. But yeah, I do got to say, Otto, I knew it was going to be fun having you, because I knew you had a great sense of humor. just from watching your stuff.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
I think I can see the humor in it. I love self-deprecating things as far as being a cop. And I mean, I named literally my icon is a donut, and it's Simpsons cops, which are like the epitome of
the
dumbest of the dumb cops. So there's a lot of intentionality behind what I did, because I love being able to see the bad side of policing and try to put a little humor to it so it can keep me humble. And I appreciate what you're doing out there. I think what you do as a First Amendment auditor, and I think other cops need to hear this, it is changing the way law enforcement is. It may not be the whole nation at once. It's never going to be that way with about anything. But if we can get one department at a time, it's a ripple effect, man. We're helping. And that's how I look at law enforcement. I can't save the world. I can't go arrest every bad cop video of a bad cops you guys show me. And that pisses people off. But I can do what I'm doing. There's not a lot of cops doing what we do. And at least I can say I'm doing more than the average bear. Again, I like to look at things.
You're doing something. You're already like, fuck. Most people won't even vote. And I understand why.
Yeah. So, yeah, exactly. And banning
hey,
on here.
I sincerely appreciate what you guys are doing. And I've been at this for a while, but we shouldn't always be so divided.
Right.
We do have some differences, but we are all Americans, and we are so divided on so many things that we should be able to bridge some stuff. And we're not going to agree because we have fundamental differences. We have different things that we're trying to go for different things.
Yeah.
And we're not going to agree.
Yeah.
But I do understand that it's a difficult job, and I wouldn't want to do it. So
God, you'd be such a fun partner, though.
Oh, we would have a blast.
You imagine doing a stop with him, Banning? Oh my God, it'd be so fun to work with.
Shit, if I could get we'd be at the donut shop 100% of the time.
You'd be so
That'd be the safest donut shop. I would defend the donut shop with my fucking life, bro.
He would be that guy on a domestic where you cannot laugh, and he's just over in the corner doing shit that he knows is going to make you break.
I'm inappropriate, as you can tell.
I love
There's
it.
no way I couldn't be. I'm unprofessional, even in my professional career. In boardrooms, it's very difficult.
I don't want to pry. I hate prying into people's personal stuff, but can you tell us what it is you do other than that, or is that too far?
I'm a director of operations and human resources for a service tech company.
Gotcha. Okay, so
we run contracts across the country. I travel.
Okay.
I was traveling a lot. Now I'm not traveling anymore. But, so if you ever, have a complaint against one of our service techs, I'm the I'm the guy.
I got you.
So like I said, I find where people fit best and make sure that they get there.
Yeah.
And solve problems. I solve a lot of, most of the time. Not every day that you show up to work, you should be there. And sometimes if you're having a rough one, you just shouldn't be there because it's not good for you and it's not good for me. And if you're having, troubles at home and you're bringing that shit to work and you're carrying a gun, maybe you should just not go out on patrol that day. And with the same thing for, my guys are not dealing with guns and crazy people. But if you fuck up something,
it's my job as a supervisor to catch that stuff too, because that's what I do. I'm a supervisor, so
sometimes it's not worth going out.
Yep. Somebody asked if a green screen's behind me. No, this is my studio. I just changed the picture, y'all. It's not a green screen.
You got a slick ass studio. That's some of that government welfare money, isn't it?
It is a nice studio.
How many tickets did you have to write to get that?
My wife's a nurse, and I just make her work.
Oh, okay.
So I just make her work more. That's all. And then Lacey said, "Auto is the real deal. The total package. All of the good things. We love them." So
I love you guys too. I wouldn't be here. I literally wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the support of complete random strangers on the internet.
I know, right?
I went through some shit. It was a dark time. I'm glad that I survived it. I'm glad that I'm here. You remember, if you are, and we're all going to go through some shit. You remember that it does get better. The rain clouds will always pass. You can't see all the metaphors. It's true. You will get through it. It's not the end of the world. As long as you just continue waking up every day, you'll get through it and it'll be all right.
I agree. I think mental health and all that stuff is very,
Yep.
very.
And same thing
critical.
with everybody. So
yep, it's something that, and it goes across all spectrums. Cops, you need to understand that you see a lot of traumas. I guarantee you have some form of PTSD.
You guys are fucked up, and I understand that.
Yep. And it's hard for cops to admit, well, I haven't seen anything bad. Trust me, you're fucked up. I mean, we watched a video. I watched a video on a live I did Friday morning or Saturday morning that was so extremely fucked up. And what was my reaction? I laughed because it's my coping mechanism when I see something traumatic. I don't find it funny when I'm seeing. I just don't know another way to get it out. And that's a common first responder issue across the board. EMS.
Yeah, and you can't say that shit on body cam because as soon as I get a hold of it, you're fucked.
Right.
So now you're not even allowed to be a human.
Right. And it literally is a coping mechanism that is.
I got tons of dead baby jokes. You want one?
No, please don't.
No,
right now. One of my mods, Marine Blood, told me to read this. He said, Eric, please read this. Those that join the Discord, go to the community rules channel and hit the check reaction to gain access to the rest of the server. Make sure you do that. Otherwise, my mod is going to yell at me again. So we are at 3 hours, sir. Otto, if you don't mind sticking around just for a short second after we end the stream, but on behalf of Two Cops, One Donut, I want to thank you for having the courage and to come on here with some cops that you really didn't know how this was going to go. And honestly, neither did I. We both took a step forward in trying to bridge a gap. And I think we did a good job. So I really appreciate you coming on, brother.
Hey, no problem. I thoroughly enjoyed being your donut.
You are our donut. Oh, very nice. Banning, you got any closing words, sir?
I just appreciate everybody sticking around, even for the new people that came. If you didn't get all the discussion, come to the next week's one. We're not here to win anybody over. If we do, great. If not, this is a talking platform for everybody. You can come in and say whatever you want to about cops. It's not going to offend us. We're not going to turn our tail, run away, and go tell our wives that people were mean to us. Please, this is to bring the community and law enforcement together, those that are serving properly out there, and that's what we're here to do.
Yeah. Otto, how can people find you, brother?
Oh, well, I'm really hard to miss. You just have to look for the big fat guy. You can't miss me, dude. If I'm in town,
I meant on social media. How can people find you?
I'm Otto the Watchdog. OTTO the Watchdog on basically everything with a link.
Awesome. Okay. Because I looked for you everywhere to tag you in everything that we did just so you could be tagged.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Guys, this will be available on our Spotify and Apple. We will be downloading the audio so you can hear that. The video is always going to be available on YouTube.
Wait, is this live?
No, not at all.
Oh, I don't consent to being recorded, sir.
Yeah, you're good. We'll edit that part out.
If I see this on the internet, I'm going to sue you.
Good. You'll make nothing.
I'm going to file a lawsuit and then retire.
You're going into the shallowest pockets in the whole market.
Yeah, our podcast is just going to be called Donut.
Yeah.
It's just Donut. There's not going to be two cops anymore.
Yeah. I don't want the cops. I want the donut. It's just two cops.
Just two cops. Yeah.
Just two cops. No more fucking donut. Otto stole our donut.
All right, everybody out there, thanks for watching. Everybody from Otto the Watchdog's channel, thank you for jumping over here and giving us a shot. Hope we kept you around. If not, we understand. But everybody, have a good night. Take it easy. See you next.